Hey guys, and finally we are here. Death Before Dishonour Season 9 Qualifier 3 is about to get underway. I say about to get underway, it's been underway for about 4 hours now. It has been a ridiculously long time. Some of these players have had to wait quite a while to play some games. Poor Dactor as well in the second semi-final. I believe has spent more time waiting than he has battering his opposition into submission. But we're here. We have 2 best of 3 semi-finals and a best of 5 final for you guys today. And I'm very excited to give you guys a warm welcome. We have Deadly Bunnies on the left-hand side up against Shazam. Hopefully I haven't butchered your name too much there, bud. My pronunciation is always, as always, particularly poor. But a very talented player there from VM going up against a talented player from PE. Should be a good fun game. I'm very excited. We've had quite a few big upsets already with some really high-profile players being taken out of the game. But up after this, we have Neckbert versus Dactor. Fingers crossed, Neckbert had to run away for an emergency quickly, and he's honed back in time, and that's why we moved that semi-final to the back there. But I'm very excited. I am very excited. Welcome. What's up, Jack? Neckbert, the mighty Geese Howard himself, Nick the Black Fawn, Abaddon as well, Rebane Fantasy, CJ, good to have you guys all here. Why do you stream at the same time as Logic and Turin? I mean, it's just bad luck. It always happens to me, like, regardless of what I do. I posted this tournament up kind of like, you know, I think nearly a week ago, so it is what it is, I'm afraid. But hopefully we'll be able to put on an entertaining show. So Bunnies has dropped for some reason. Says, 1 sec, gotta restart my game, no worries. Shazam is already ready to rumble, man. That's going to be such a mouthful to say each time, but it looks like it was going to be Beastmen versus the Lizardmen on Troll Country, which is a pretty interesting one, so should be some good fun. I'm very excited. And I hope you guys are strapped in, ready for some tournament action as well. I'm back, no worries. Awesome, Neckbert. We'll be hopping in with you versus Dactor straight after this. As soon as Bunnies hops back in, we will be ready to rumble. I think he had finished his build, so it should be a nice, simple case of hopping in and, yeah, going in, doing some glorious violence and action. Doing a big stretch already, though. Man, it has been a very long, stressful tournament so far, but I'm really looking forward to actually being able to see the games now and do our bit to commentate on them and allow you guys as well to witness the carnage. So, let me message Bunnies quickly, make sure he's all good. Beep, beep, beep. But hope you guys have been all good today. Let's just send a message to make sure he's all good. Yeah, I'm doing fine. What's the big goose up to? Man, Mr. Geese Howard, I did find some pretty cool goose emojis that I was contemplating adding into the Discord. I've been realized a bit of an idiot. I thought you had to pay to get emojis on your Discord. Turns out you get 50 for free. So in the next few days, I will be populating the Discord with new emojis. If you have any Warhammer themed ones, any duck themed ones, feel free to shoot them over to me on a PM in Discord, and I'll see if they're acceptable to get added into the Discord itself. We've already got a few new ones up there already, but I'm certainly looking to bring some more into the action. Goosing around, probably. That is what Goose Howard is known for. Geese Howard, I should say. I'm hoping you win, Neckbert. That's what I'm up to. Always praying. I mean, Dactor is a rather tough opponent to take down, I'm afraid. So, we'll give Bunnies a few seconds, or a few minutes, to see what's going on. I think he just said he had to restart his PC, so hopefully that won't take him too long, as long as he doesn't have a potato. Let's have a little sip of our drink as well while we wait. But the maps today, in this first semi-final, shall be Troll Country, Gorgazon, and then River and Maxon. Round 2 is going to be played on Eshen, Langwil, and Iron Sand Desert, with the finals taking place on Pillar of Bone, Karak Azgul, Galbaraz, Karak Ungor, and Storm Demon as well. So, some good fun maps, a nice mixture of small maps and large maps. That's how I tend to like to run my tournaments, because I think large maps really hamper the effectiveness of rush factions, and then vice versa. Small maps, of course, really hamper long-range or skirmish-focused factions. Although, to be honest, on all maps, you can kind of do a little bit of everything. People complain about Troll Country being too small, but in reality, if you want to sit on a hill and shoot, you still can, although it is not going to be as effective as it would be on something like Crossroads, which is, of course, the nature of the game. You need to be flexible in your builds and factions. Looks like Bunnies is back online, or at least on Discord, which is good news. And so I've seen a Discord message which was rather funny. So, looks like he is typing. What's up, Zypher? How's it going? Quack, quack, gentlemen, says Tiago. You guys have made it in time for the first game. Deadly Bunny's had to reset his PC, so he is booting up, and we should be all good to go. I'm very, very kind of biting at the bit to get this tournament kicked off and going. But hope Zypher and Tiago, you guys are all good today. Down under blunder, Mr. Ducky. How are you doing, good sir? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm just super eager to get the tournament off and running. It's been a very long time. We've been going for about 4 hours already, just off stream. And now we're going to be kicking it off here. So, should be some good fun. But I'm doing all good, man. Doing all good. I've actually got a Sunday off work for once, which is a miracle. It's not going to happen again this year, I'm afraid. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool, so Bunny said his internet's crashed, but it should be back on. Cool, keep me updated. Or we will do other semi. Cool, gonna give him 5 minutes. If he's not on, unfortunately to Shurs Harsham, who's been waiting, I think, near 2 hours at this point to play the semi-final, and we'll have to do the other one if Bunnies can't get on in the next couple of minutes. But yes. Lizardmen versus Beastmen is such a weird matchup now. I don't know how you guys feel about it personally. I think it's actually slightly Beastmen favoured at the moment, but that is due also largely down to those Tuskor Chariots basically being able to wipe out every single Lizardman unit in the game, at least infantry-wise, and then you can just kind of beat down the single entities with your Gorbles, your Gorgons, and all other such units. Particularly on a map like Troll Country, Lizardmen tend to want to play this game by skirmishing and pulling away, which is really hard against Chariots on its own, but on a map like Troll Country, against those Chariots, would be nigh on impossible. So I'm very interested to see what Mr. Shrove does bring here today. I mean, he's a very good top tier competitive player, so I expect to see 1 or 2 tricks that we might be able to learn, which is all good. Cool. So yeah, it looks like Bunnies is just resetting his internet now. Let me know if it's not back in the next 5 minutes. Cool. So, we have 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to discuss them with me now. As we wait for Bunnies to re-emerge from the shadows, where I'm sure he's plotting and screaming to try to take down the lizard folk. Boop. I do like traditionally starting this from Troll Country as well. It's back, and hopefully to stay. Awesome. So I don't know if I have Bunnies as a friend. I don't think so, for some reason. It is odd, because we've played against each other quite a bit in tournaments. We had a really cool game once of Chaos versus Lizardmen, but I'm not sure I ended up casting it. So, Grombrindle White Cat. I don't know if I want to know what's gone on there, Mr. Grombrindle, but it looks like he is finally back on his way. Oh, you're streaming simultaneously with Turin? I'm afraid so, yeah. Why compete with Turin and cannibalize Logic? Nick, I set up this tournament like 4 days ago. If anyone else, you're probably asking the wrong person, to be honest. Like, this has been planned for a while, so. You say you have 4 hours on Turin, do it beforehand. We started this tournament at 4 PM, Nick. We're just still running. I'm afraid I can't control other YouTubers and when they stream and when they don't stream. It's nigh on impossible not to cross-stream, at least with someone. Hello! I'm back, baby. Hello. Let's go. Yeah, this tournament was scheduled a long time ago, so there's not too much I can do about it, unfortunately. If other people stream on the same day, there's no problem. It is what it is. Yeah, it's just what it is. Like, I got no problem with Logic or Turin streaming at the same time as me. It's just unfortunate. But luckily we get a lot of streams as well where we manage to do streams and other people aren't streaming at the same time. Cool. And we will get this battle straight underway. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a few less viewers live and stuff, it's true, but like at the same time, video will be uploaded and people can watch through the replays. But yeah, there's no point kind of, bringing it up to me. I can't do too much, I'm afraid. Rubber Duck has 100% more duck content and therefore is superior. That's a very nice of you to say as a goose, I must admit. The olive branch of friendship between the two, the duck and the geese, has come across once more. But yeah, I'm very excited. So, I actually like this Lizardman build instantly off the gate because of what I've seen. But we'll go through the Beastmen force first. So down in the ground forces, as is the standard with current Beastmen, it is cheap, cheerful, and ready to die for a good old cause. We have a load of Ungor Spearheads down in the bottom. They're going to be simple chaff to hold the enemy in place, bog them down, distract them, run over skinks, and other such units. We then have a load of Centaurs with great weapons dotted all the way along, with some throwing axes as well, so fast-moving, heavy hitters, and likewise, that's going to be kind of the story of this battle, as we have double Ferromanticore up in the sky, and 2 units of Harpies as well. Nice little vanguarded position here. For the leadership corps, we do indeed have a Doom Bull. Oh, we have what's his name? McGregor? Conor McGregor, I believe. The Doom Bull, like, swaggers into battle. He's such a badass. He's going to be coming with the Blood Creed. He is cheering. He is roaring. He is ready to rumble. Very excited to see him in action today. Where is the Spellcaster? Surely there is a Spellcaster. Oh, there is, thank God. We have a Brave Shaman of Wild down on this left-hand side, of course, on his natural Tuskor Chariot. He's going to be coming in with the Jagged Dagger, Traitorkin, and Brave Scream. All very powerful spells. Brave Scream, you really have to have some good timing with placement, but if you can make it work, boy oh boy, does it do so much damage. Up in the sky, we have a couple of Pterodons alongside a Skink Chief, which is a really nice pick. Couple more Pterodons on the far side. And then there's a Doom Box. We have Legion of Shakwa. We have triple Temple Guard, one of which is the Star Chamber Guardians, an Ark of Sotek, and Lord Mazdamundi riding to battle on Zlak. Let's get a little neck scratch just to let him know he is the best boy. Coming with Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, and a Net of Amantok. So throwing axes, as well as the Harpies, are going to drive away the Pterodons. Now this is a bit of a problem for the Pterodon riders, and that is the Harpies. They will rip, tear, and bite their way to victory in the air game up against them, but they're certainly outnumbered by the Pterodons. The Ferromanticores are going to have to consistently put pressure on the enemy. You can see the Ungors charge in and look at the Saurus and think, you know what? You know what? We don't really want to tussle with you. We're going to wait till you get hit by a Traitorkin before even considering moving into fight. The Throne Axes as well are going to have an absolute whale of a time because the Pterodons in the sky are getting destroyed right now by the Harpies. And if the Pterodons go down, it's going to be a long, long fight for the Lizardmen because there's nothing to shut down the Throne Axes. Luckily, there is only 2 units of them, though, not the 3 that you would normally expect. Lovely little Shield of the Old Ones does go down. A big fat collapse hasn't come down on this left-hand side by Deadly Bunnies. And 1 unit of Temple Guard is already being destroyed. And you can see that others are just vibing and standing there. This is really bad news for them. Of course, the Lizman Micro is at the moment on the Pterodons, attempting to save them because he needs them if he wants to win today. He's doing a decent job. I mean, some of the Harpies have been slaughtered, but likewise the Skink Chief is starting to lose a little bit of HP here. Star Chamber Guardians have moved to intercept the Centaurs with great weapons. That's going to be a fantastic engagement for them. Lovely little Brave Scream does indeed go down on the Legion of Shakwa. Unfortunately, Lord Mazdamundi has taken quite a pounding at the moment. Ferromanticore is going to swoop down alongside the Doom Ball. Now, the Doom Ball, a lot of people don't realise, does daze its opponents. So you can see it is going to be lowering some of the stats of Lord Mazdamundi when he lands a successful right punch. I feel like this is a very swift game that's kind of falling apart there for the Lizardmen, and my god, that was a way to start the game. It went super quick. The Beastmen just slaughtered the Lizardmen there. My poor Dino boys. I just don't think box is the way to go anymore, to be honest. Once those Pterodons got shut down, I mean, it was game over. Like, the Ark of Sotek can still get some great damage value, despite the battle only lasting a few minutes. Still got just shy of 700 damage value, but yeah, everything else was simply falling apart. As well for the Mr. Deadly Bunnies, though, Doom Ball did really good work. 870 damage value. The game lasted like 2 minutes, and just shy of 1.2k damage value on the Brave Shaman of Wild is absolutely bonkers, to be honest. Good play of the Manticores, though, and once those Pterodons were forced off, it was going to be GG. So very swift first game there. Deadly Bunny's coming in. He's taking no prisoners today, taking this very seriously. I know he does normally love the meme. GG, well played. GG. Hello, hello, Quack. What's up, Nafis? How are you doing today? How are you doing, champ? Ouch, GG, that was rough. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, definitely, Lord. The Air of Effect spells are so powerful right now, although, to be honest, that was such a tight formation. I think even if the Air of Effect was, like, its normal range, it would have still been fantastic there. But yeah, definitely, the Air of Effect being like extra large is a big pain in the butt, particularly to those defensive box-style builds. Next map, though, shall be Gorgasm. Let's update the scoreboard. Deadly Bunny is coming in with a vengeance. I think this may be the first time he's been in one of these semi-finals. I'm not sure. He's a very talented player, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had appeared in multiple of them in the past. I know he's not won one of these yet, so he's coming in to try to claim that crown. very hard countered? Yeah, man. That was really a battle of being countered. Yeah, I don't know how the Lizardman player could have won with that build. That was rough. Yeah, it can happen. It really can happen. There's actually a game of me recently up on Tyran's channel, which my opponent had like 4 gyro bombers and I had no anti-air. And the game was over before it started. Sometimes there's not too much you can do if you haven't prepared for, a certain style of play. Breadcrumbs for the Duck Gods. Thank you, Nathis. I hope you're having a good time today. Very excited here to be streaming. And it is going to be Mr. Bunnies, I believe, to pick and ban first, maybe? Let's double check. Let us double check. It is... yeah, Bunnies to pick and ban. Bunnies to pick and ban. Boop. There we go. What happened? Man, Nick, it was a steamroll. Beastmen came in. Beastmen came out. Lizardmen, not so much. Doomboo got down and rough with Mazdamundi. Treadkin was popped. The air core that the Lizardmen heavily invested in got overrun. I think if it was just 2 Manticores or just 2 Harpies, the Lizardmen would have been in a really, actually, quite fantastic position up against the Beastmen build. But because it was both Harpies and both Manticores, it was just too much for the air core. It really was too much. Just thinking, no worries. Is VM French clan? No, VM is a Russian clan. Definitely one of the biggest clans, in fact, in the game. But yeah, definitely the biggest Russian clan around, at least as far as I'm aware. It is headed up by Moors, who ran the Warhammer World Championships, which was a really cool event. What's up, Loopy? I've actually just recorded a battle feature in you, which will probably be out after this stream. So it'll be dropping probably around midnight or something like that. Because I think... no, I think I've done a thumbnail for it. Okay, it'll probably be dropping straight after this, man. It's a good game. It is a very, very good game. It is Wood Elves versus Nagarife, which is always a good scrap. Empire, ban Vampire Counts and Dowie. Decent bans all round. I mean, Dowie are amazing up against Empire. Vampire Counts is an interesting ban. It's probably worth it. I mean, Empire are very flexible. Once you take Dowie out of the equation, Empire is a really strong first pick, and because of the ban system, it means you just ban Dowie every single time. I can see Vampire Counts being a little rough as well, and I mean Deadly Bunnies, of course, is probably quite experienced with Empire, more so than me. I don't really play Empire too much. So even if there's some matchups which are even, but he just feels uncomfortable in, he can ban them alongside Dowie and be in a relatively solid position. Interesting to see what Shurshazam does bring to the battle. In fact, I know he's a Vampire Count main. That might be why Deadly Bunnies did ban them, because he's like, right, I'm 1 up already in this best of 3. I just need to win this next match, and it's game over. So if I stop him being in the Vampire Counts, I'm going to be in a fantastic position. And the real smart thing about banning them here is even if this does go to a game 3, Shurshazam is going to have to pick 3 factions and ban 1, and then Bunnies can simply ban Vampire Counts again. So it's stopping your opponent from picking their main faction, which is smart. It is smart. Hanodins, man! I was like, oh, go Hanodins, man. You had such a tough run all the way in, and you just got to the quarterfinals. Couldn't make it to the semis, man. Well played, though. If you had any really good replays from your run you'd like to send me, I'd love to cast them on the channel, man. I really would. Hello, hello there, my friends. Hello, hello. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. Very excited to get this underway a little bit more. We do actually have, I know we've got a couple of ODM people in chat right now. We do have Mr. Dacta, who is an ODM legend, going to be coming in to play in the second semi-final. I'm not sure if Neckbert, I think Neckbert is a PE clan member, if I'm not mistaken. So lots of clans being represented today. There's going to be a big clan war as well, kicking off relatively soon, with a lot of the major clans coming together to duke it out in an event hosted by, I believe it was Vicious Satsuma who organised the whole thing, who's a really cool player. We've had him on the channel a load of times. He's very talented. And he's the kind of like one of the heads of RTK, I believe. I'm going to be playing in it. I'm also going to be casting one of the groups from it, and then hopefully, I guess, some of the later stages as well. Looks like, though, we do have Greenskins versus the Empire. Bit of a weird counter pick. I've seen a lot of people use Empire to counter Greenskins, but, you know, if you know something your opponent doesn't know, it's always a good advantage, because I feel like Volkmar the Grim is going to be very powerful here. Use some halberds defensively, Volkmar the Grim to kill all the infantry, and then like 2 or 3 handgunners to shoot key targets can work absolute wonders for the Empire. But we'll have to wait to see how it goes. What's up, Charix? How are you doing, champion? Already sended? Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good day, Charix. I've only just realised now that you have a Shadow Warrior as your picture. That is incredibly badass. That is incredibly cool. Looks like both the guys are ready to rumble. So we'll hop into this second game of the first semi-final. Of course, guys, after this we have a second semi-final and a best-of-5 final. Looks like he was ready, but he's going to be tinkering 1 or 2 things as well. We'll have to see what tricks the bunny does have up his sleeve. Who would win in a fight, a bunny or a duck? I feel like a duck would overpower a bunny rabbit, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm not just saying that because I myself am a duck, but I just feel like ducks have a bit more... You know, they've got the mobile advantage, can fly into the sky. Shadow Warriors remain the most stylish high elf unit. I would argue Shadow Walkers have a little bit more swagger, Hazel, but they are basically, you know, Shadow Warriors. 5 Shadow Warrior Kite is my second name. You're going to very much enjoy a video coming out today. I love Shadow Warriors, man. One of my favourite players to watch use them is, well, Loopy is one. Loopy's Shadow Warrior play is pretty damn disgusting. Him and Falcon. Falcon comes in often to the one build Battle Royale tournaments we host with some crazy high elf builds, like insane. Normally a lot of Shadow Warriors with an Archmage of Metal or something like that, and it is so much micro, so hard to protect, but if you can pull it off, it really can drag down your opponent. They're such a good unit, and I love them. Swordmasters of Hoeth are pretty damn awesome as well. Dragon Princes. The one problem I find with Dragon Princes... No! No! What's gone wrong? Alright, we'll swoop off this, because we will do the same build. It looks like his opponent dropped. No! No. We will get him back in and go same build C-Tech. Oh no. Cool, it's still online, so it looks like his game just crashed. Man, there's so many like crashes and stuff at the moment. Oh, he's back. Hello. You okay? The shoe is on the other foot. Now I know the first one crashed, now the other one's crashing. My problem with Dragon Princes is that they used to ride dragons to battle, and now they've been relegated to horses, and it just feels, you know, like such a letdown. Like, oh, we are the Dragon Princes, we go to war, and then they just kind of come out on some little ponies. I must admit their horses look badass. The armor does look very cool. Despite what people say, like, oh, look, you're trying to imitate a dragon. Like, hell yeah, you want to imitate a dragon. It looks really badass. Got my new picture. What new picture's that? Okay, we loaded in this time. That was so weird. So, oh my god. Oh my god. Deadly Bunnies. Oh, these are these War Wagon Mortars? No. Okay. I thought these were War Wagon Mortars. I thought Bunnies had pulled out the ultimate memes here. But he's gone for a relatively serious build. We have Karl Franz up in the sky, coming in with Reikland Runefan, as well as Gal Maraz, the Dwarf Forged Hammer. And he's going to punch like an absolute truck. With a Jade Wizard, coming with Earthblood and Regrowth on horseback. 1 unit of Free Company Militia, just the one. And then we have Empire Knights, Empire Knights, Empire Knights. That's kind of the tail of this build. Backed up by some Outriders with grenade launchers and 4 War Wagons. This is played in a very Inticity style of play. I've seen him pull off a similar style of build up against the Chaos. But it's going to be tough. Greenskins are one of the best swarm factions in the entire game, with a bucket ton of skirmish cav to boot as well. So for the forces of the Greenies, we do have Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers over on this right-hand flank, a main battle line of Night Goblins and Orc Boys. Looks like a lot of Orc Boys just stretched all the way along the battlefield, and then more skirmish cav on the left-hand side, including the Death Creepers and some Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. We have Stone Trolls, 3 units to be precise, to saturate on top of the Orc Boys. We have a Goblin Big Boss. We have Grom the Paunch coming in with, of course, all his buffs. And a Giant River Troll Hag with Spirit Leech. So pretty cool build by both players. Very kind of meta stuff from the Greenskins. I feel like this is a bit more of a wild build from Bunnies. But, you know, he's one up. He can certainly go to risk it. And it is something that I certainly can see working. It's going to be very tough to micro, though. Very tough. Knighthood saying Dragon Princess over Stag Knights. I don't know, man. I don't know. Have you seen those Stag Knight models? They look so cool. So, the Goblin Wolfride Archers are being forced back here. They did a tiny bit of poke themselves, but certainly a bad trade for them. And that looks like the War Wagons will be a good counter to the Stone Trolls. They can really focus them down and do some good work, but you have nowhere to run. That is the problem. We're on a large, wide map, but there is one unit to hide behind, and that is the Free Company Militia. They will not be long for the world. As soon as the enemy catch up with them, they're dead. And then you just have Sacrificial Knights to the Slaughterhouse that unfortunately are going to have to give their lives a little bit. Empire Knights are being forced back, it would seem, on this side by the Death Creepers, as well as the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers. And unfortunately, the poor Goblin Wolfride Archers are being decimated right now. Those grenade launchers can start to open up on the Orc Boys, and they will do insane damage. People really underestimate the power of these Outrider grenade launchers. Look at that volley coming, the HP just eviscerating and disappearing before our very eyes. Lovely little Spirit Leech, though, coming in by the Greenskins. They're not going to let the Empire have it all their own way. And this unit of Empire Knights is done for. Likewise, the Free Company Militia have already been forced off as well. Grenade launchers are still piling in on top of the Night Goblins, trying to get rid of them as quickly as possible. But the Stone Trolls remain untouched at the moment. And a little bit of a slip up by Bunnies, and this is going to be the problem with such a build, is it's almost impossible to micro everything effectively, and he has allowed the War Wagons to get caught there by the Stone Trolls, who are doing some really nice damage as they attempt to retreat, but Grom is well and truly amongst them as well now. We do get a nice little Earthblood. Unfortunately, it does not catch the weakest of the War Wagons, and it looks like Karl Franz is going to charge in a desperate attempt to stem the Greenskin tide. And it looks like the Goblin Big Boss is going to come over and say hello if he does stay here too long. Karl Franz struggling at the moment to get out of the grips of these Orc Boys. The poor little Jade Wizard is getting absolutely bullied by Grom the Paunch. They need stabbing has gone down on him, making him even more of a pitiful melee combatant than he already is. And he's gone for. Grom can simply chase him off the battlefield. Empire Knights lances lowered, charge furiously into those Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and the Wolves dishing out some pretty big hurt there and taking almost no damage in return. Unfortunately, the Jade Wizard is dead now in the dirt. Balance power is quite heavily in favour of the Greenskins. We do have Free Company Militia doing some 360 no-scopes here, but unfortunately for them, the Spider Riders are simply going to hop on them and delete them. Karl Franz is going for the old Hail Mary attempt. If the battle is going bad for you at any point, just jump in and try to assassinate the enemy leader. A lovely little bait here by Bunnies as well. He charges in, gets his opponent to pop Lucky Banner, and then gets back up into the sky once more. He can simply now charge back in to finish the job once those buffs have worn off. War Wagons are still all alive and doing some really decent damage. You can see the Stone Trolls are starting to break and run for their lives. Likewise, the Orc Boys are terrified, and there's still fight left in this Empire build. All of their heavy hit and damage dealers are alive. Unfortunately, all the units which get sacrificed to hold back the enemy are dead, and that is a big, big problem. We have one unit of Empire Knights left alive here in the middle. Unfortunately, Karl Franz is going to be eating a Spirit Leech, and there is no healing left for our boy Franzi today, with that Jade Wizard being caught and killed so early on. Goblin Big Boss needs to be careful here. Karl Franz is an absolute beast, particularly with his buffs popped, but the Giant Retro Hag comes in, yells, "Get away from my swamp," and drives back Karl Franz as the War Wagons try to rotate up and around here to the top of the map, but he is so close to the board edge here. This is some very scary stuff. But Karl Franz does indeed have terror, so that can always be useful in the later stages of the game. Some Empire Knights have managed to rally in the distance. Grenade launchers are starting to focus fire down the Orc Boys, doing some really lovely damage to them. Franz needs to get a kill on Grom, I think, at the moment, and assassinate him, and then all of a sudden, the Greenskin leadership is really going to waver quite badly, particularly in these Stone Trolls who are already kind of struggling to get in and dish out the enemy. Big problem though for the Empire is that balance of power is looking really bad, and the more ammunition you use, the worse it's going to get. And the longer the battle goes on, the more Spirit Leeches as well Mr. Franz is going to have to eat, and he's going to just get weaker and weaker as the battle does go on. Stone Trolls are continuing to attempt to charge in. They are rather slow and ponderous in their approach, and will probably flee off the edge of the map right now. as Franz does dive down with some of the grenade launchers, who unfortunately have been caught by the death creepers, who have caught them within their spider webs and clutches. And oh my god, Franz is being butchered by this little goblin war boss, or big boss I should say. Look at him go, what a hero of all green skin kind. Oh look, the Empire, the Emperor of all mankind. Nothing to a little gobbo and his trusty Wolfie. Stone Trolls do have the Great End is here popped, and it looks like the Outriders have now been finished off. We simply have the War Wagons remaining, and they need stabbing Karl Franz, who is unfortunately going to go down there. Really awesome battle there, well played to both these champs, and a massive punch back there by Shurv. Again, I know I'm butchering your name, I really do apologise about the pronunciation there. Really fun build coming in by Deadly Bunnies. It certainly had teeth, like, it wasn't a super mean, it certainly could do good work, but it ends up being a little bit too much to handle and eventually being dragged down. Grenade launchers did fantastic, 960 and 950 damage value apiece. The War Wagons, though, they did okay. They did okay, but there just was not enough to protect them. All of the Empire Knights performed poorly. I mean, their job isn't to get damage value, to put their bodies on the line, but unfortunately, they simply got dragged down there. Likewise, Karl Franz. Lovely catch as well on that Jade Wizard, really set the Greenskins up and rolling. 1.8k damage value on Grom the Paunch, very impressive as always. Goblin Big Boss 679, 726 on the Giant Rivetor Hag. Orc Boys, they basically got grenaded. They're going to get some real bad PTSD after this one. And what else performed really well? I don't think much else had to. It was really just a matter of, yeah, bog down the enemy, allow Grom and the Big Boss to cut down Franz, and then it was going to be GG. GG. Too much healing, sadly. Yeah, that's the problem going up against Trolls. The problem going up against Trolls is, even if you do the damage to them, if you don't kill them or drive them off the battlefield, and though there was a lot of mobility in the Empire build, it had to be used to protect the War Wagons. So the Trolls just eat the shots and come back and fight again. So, River Amaxon is the map. And let me double check. Do we do pick? Oh, challenges are freezing, which is lovely. Boom, 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 boom. And bans 1. Wait. Picks refreshes bans 1, yeah. I'm getting confused. There's different rules in a different tournament I play in where you pick 3 ban 2, but this is still pick 3 ban 1. Poor War Wagons, yeah. The Wagons, no! It was a cool build for sure. It was a cool build. Somebody once told me the green skin's gonna roll me. I ain't the coolest kid on the block. What's up, Mr. Ice Power? You just missed a pretty incredible game. Let's update the scoreboard here. Your boy, Mr. Deadly Bunnies, did take the first game in a very convincing manner, but unfortunately was a little bit rolled over in the second game. He tried some War Wagon Outrider grenade launcher shenanigans up against the Greenskins, but it was a little bit too much to handle in the end, and he got pushed to the corner of the map and ran over, unfortunately. I barely ever pay attention to their range, not going to lie, I probably should. Oh, what's that? What's that, Hazel? Are you talking about the wagons? Yeah, it was all on Franz, and once it, yeah, losing the Jade Wizard was brutal, because once he died, Franz needed to put in so much work after those Empire Knights were dealt with, and he obviously simply couldn't do that in the end. Glade Captains are very cool indeed. What's up, CJ? How's it going, champion? Hope you're all good today, man. Greenskin's gonna greenskin, as always. As, of course, Ice Power, the greenskin main, would know. Sorry, checking Discord. I've got a load of messages, but I don't think any of it is from us. So, oh no, not like involving like involving the tournament, so we should be fine. You're having a discussion about Glade Captain. What about Glade Captains? Whether they're better than Handmaidens? It depends on the situation a little bit. Glade Captains are actually pretty useful. Stacked with like a Branch Wraith's buffs as well, if you have them on foot in a bit of a Doom Blob. Man, I've got one of those Innocent smoothies on me, and man, they are so good. They are so good. Oh, you went there. Ouch. No, Ice. I'm never going to let that Dowie game go. Ice Power, of course, is actually a Marathi main. He actually mains Marathi. But he does definitely like his greenskins as well, of course. Beaten the hyper-competitive quad wagon build. I've seen war wagons honestly put in work. They can be pretty powerful. They really can be. You're breaking my heart. I do not recognize you. What's up today? And quack quack. I love the little duck emoji. How are you doing today, buddy? Hope you're all good in the hood. Well, not discussion. We agreed on them being better at range. They're very good at range, yes. They are good at range. They can do bits in combat as well. I quite like them having, if I'm doing like a box build, which I probably wouldn't recommend now to do, because of air effect bugs and so forth, but if you do go for a well-off box build, having a Glade Captain in the centre, they can buff up melee attack and melee defense of everything in that box, and likewise, if your opponent doesn't want to play ball or keeps their wizard out of the combat, you just use the Glade Captain to shoot them from afar. I had some really amazing games. Up against a Bretonian player. Who was it? It was in the Warhammer World Championships. And this is when Wood Elves were still really bad against Bretonia. And I managed to get the win due to the fact my Glade Captain sniped their caster, like their healer. And I managed to drag down the rest of his build. I feel like it was It's Current Year, who's another Warhammer YouTuber. And maybe it went all the way to 3 games. Because I think in the next game someone brought Hellebron against me. And he is a die-hard Hellebron player. So, it looks like we have a Beastmen pick, a Wood Elf pick, and a Dark Elf pick. Interesting choices, actually. I quite like them. Banning Lizardmen, who does not go for vampire counts. And it looks like Deadly Bunnies is going to be kind of the Tomb Kings, banning Beastmen. So he'll have to contend with Dark Elves or Wood Elves. I would instantly be going for Wood Elves here. If it was up to me, I would be going Wood Elves right now to take on the Tomb Kings. Interesting to see what people think of that matchup, of course. Obi-Wan was here. He told me what you did to the Shortbeard, Linz. Oh no! I am a Soul Stealer main. Man, Soul Stealer's good. Yeah, Handmaidens and Glade Captains. I mean, it really suits your style of play. We are getting some Wood Elves. We are getting some Wood Elves. What are your guys' thoughts on this matchup as a whole? I might actually do a little poll quickly. To see what you guys think this one favours. Who does this matchup favour? Wood Elves or Tomb Kings? Bam. So hopefully there should be a question just popped up for you guys. Personally, I think it's very... I don't know. Tomb King's very good against Wood Elves. I've just seen so many Wood Elf players in recent tournaments beat Tomb King players, but that might just be because of, the game in general, right? Because chariots, skeleton chariots, are so good. They are so good up against Wood Elves. They can tear apart a lot of their infantry. I think the key with Wood Elves is actually to bring close to a 20 stack if possible, and you just overwhelm the Tomb Kings in general. It'd be interesting to see how Deadly Bunnies plays this. He seems very apt at using the fast mobile units. In that first game, we saw a lot of Centaur action. In the second game, Outriders War Wagons, though he did let his wagons get caught, but he had so much to micromanage, I really do not blame him, that the wagons kind of got caught by the trolls in the mid-game, which really did kind of put him on the back foot, but I could certainly see him bringing 2 to 3 chariots here, some horsemen as well, and trying to overwhelm the Wood Elves. Yeah, there's a lot of, going wide is very popular right now. Which, I mean, a lot of people complain about, but, there's always going to be one thing which is more popular. Way back in the day, it was just single entities, then it was just skirmish cav, and now it's kind of wide infantry builds. It really does depend on your style of play and which kind of era, I suppose, of the game are you going to perform best in, I think, but yeah. Oh my god, Nafis, you sound like a trailer. There is no time to plan, no space to think, no forgiveness. There is only war. A rubber duck of war. I love it. I love it. I have 20 stacks of spearmen without spears. Oh, I love it. Don't worry, wounds are not that big of a debuff to single entities. Like, it will impact them and make them slightly worse. It is really not going to be like, oh, single entities are useless now. At least not if they keep them how they kind of laid them out to be. But yeah, it obviously is going to hit them a little bit. So let's go through the forces here of the Tomb Kings, Mr. Deadly Bunnies, who's going to have to bounce back after that last game. Hopefully it hasn't rocked him. I know if you lose a game, like, if you lose, like, momentum's huge in this game, I feel. Particularly in best of 5s and so forth, less so in a best of 3, of course. But let's have a look at his build, see what he's brought. He does have one unit of his Shop to Great Bows. A big fan of this. Not over-invested in range, but having some as well as an answer to a few of those pesky Wood Elf units. We have Skeleton Spearmen dotted around, as well as some Tomb Guard with Halberds. Interesting. A unit I don't get to see terribly often. Normally it's like a load of cheap stuff and big constructs, so cool to see those guys in action. We have a load of Skeleton Horse Archers as well, to try to counter-skirmish the Wood Elves where possible. Double Tomb Scorpion, who are notoriously hard to pin in. We do have Ark the Black. This is very risky. He has a Spirit Leech, as well as, I believe, is that Doom and Darkness or Aspect of Dread Knight? I always get their symbols mixed up. Dread Knight, there we go. So cause fear and terror, which is all good. The problem with Arkan is he's very snipeable. And, yeah, that's something the Wood Elves are very, very good at. But for the Wood Elf forces, we have Dryads dotted all the way along in the front line, backed up by Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. So that looks pretty menacing. We have Eternal Guard as well, dotted just behind them. Unfortunately, no War Dancers. Big shame there. And we have Wild Riders. Double unit of Wild Riders. Interesting choice. I personally think Great Stag Knights are 100% the way to go at the moment. I do love my Wild Riders, but Great Stag Knights, I don't know what it is. It seems like they're not really affected by the whole cavalry problems at the moment, anywhere near as much as the Wild Riders themselves. We have a little Drycher down here coming over a Pendulum, which is going to be absolutely crucial into getting rid of those Tomb Guard, but not too many good targets for the Tomb Kings to focus down with their Ushopti. We do have double Skeleton Chariot as well, who I don't think I mentioned earlier, hiding in the wings. Really good play right here, because if the Wild Riders get committed, because they don't know the Chariots are nearby, those Chariots can run over all the Glade Guard and do some massive damage. Problem with the Chariots, of course, is these Wild Riders are going to be a really nice counter to them if they can get in there and pin them in place. Wild Riders! Exactly, Ice Power. Yes, what's up, Caradork? The man, the myth, the legend, your clanmate, has done very well so far. He's managed to fight back in this best of 3 semi-final, and he's looking to book himself a slot in the finals. So I'm sure you'll be rooting for your boy. Ushopti doing some good job already, just picking apart the Glade Guard of Starfire Shafts, who have started to open up and rain fire down. They're probably going to start focusing the Tomb Guard, I would assume, as quickly as possible, because these Spearmen are simply going to die. Now, of course, there is the Tomb Scorpions, again, a little bit eager and pushing forward. They're also going to be a big target, but I love this patient play from Deadly Bunnies. It's so good. Keep the Chariots in there, and look out this massive opening right now into all the Starfire Shafts. But he's continuing to be patient for now, trying to get those Wild Riders to commit to the front line so he can spring his trap. We do get a cheeky little Spirit Leech down on Drycher. There is no Earthbloods on the field today for her, so unfortunately she is, of course, going to be taking the damage and not being able to heal it back up, and Arkan is simply going to cackle and run away. He's very good at casting Spirit Leech after Spirit Leech after Spirit Leech because of his items. He can be rather nasty. That Staff Nagash is very useful. Skeleton Spearmen in the front line again, dumpstered, and the Wild Riders have now committed to the front line. Unfortunately, though, for Bunnies, the Eternal God, who are moving up on the flank, spotted the Chariots, but it's not going to matter too much unless the Wild Riders do come over here, and it looks like they do indeed do that, charging into the trees, and they're actually going to catch the Chariots still in the woodlands. This is a disaster for Deadly Bunnies on what could have been a lovely little game, but unfortunately, the keen eyes there of the Wood Elves did manage to spot their enemy. Tomb Scorpions are going down rather quickly right now. A Pendulum does catch Skeleton Spearmen, but not really too much of the Tomb Guard there. It's not the best cast, unfortunately. Although it looks like this Tomb Scorpion is unfortunately going to be biting the bullet and going down there. Ark the Black is very close to Drycher right now, who has actually pushed all the way up through onto the Glade Guard. This is pretty wild stuff coming in by Deadly Bunnies and Ark the Black. He's really trying to get in there now with the Tomb Scorpion as well. We have that summon coming down, though, from Drycher, as she can basically even sacrifice these people over onto Skeleton Horse Archers to keep them at bay and away from his key targets. This is a very close game, however, but losing the Chariots like this in the forest is a huge disaster for the Tomb King forces. Glade Guard continue to fight in, doing some really good work. I think Glade Guard are some of the best archers in the game. A lovely use of the Shopsy Summon, though, is going to force these Glade Guard, at least for now, to kind of be out of position. Skeleton Chariots do manage to escape their Wild Rider opponents, and are actually going to hopefully be pretty useful, shutting down the Glade Guard where possible. And it does seem like the Wood Elves are starting to run a little bit out of steam. The Tomb Guard are so healthy right now, and they're going to be good against pretty much everything if they can get rid of those Glade Guard, and that's the big problem. The Shopsy are still quite happily firing as well. 29 kills on these bad boys. Shooting down the Wild Riders would be a lovely play. That would hopefully give some more mobility advantage to the Tomb Scorpion and these Chariots if they stabilise. But it looks like they're both going to be going down here, unfortunately. Drycha is getting danger low right now. This is a big way back in the game for Deadly Bunnies. Kill Drycha. Spirit Leech spam's going to be very good on her. This will probably be enough. Unfortunately, the Tomb Scorpion is getting crossfired. Look at the killing pit these Glade Guard have made. This Tomb Scorpion's going to be very lucky to get out of here alive. Hopefully it can get in here and at least dish out some damage. We do have a nice little Skeleton Warrior summon to protect Ark the Black. And the fact he's so healthy has probably put this game slightly, at least balance power-wise, in advantage of the Tomb Kings because Drycha was forced off. Only 27 HP and hit points at the same time there. Oh my god, she rallies? What on earth? 27 hit points. Just run to the woods right now, or cast a spell if you can, I suppose. Glade Guard are being shut down by the Tomb Scorpion, which is really lovely play by Bunnies here. Wild Riders are on top of the Shopsy at the moment, but there's some loyal Tomb Guard Halberds pushing back the Stags, poking, jabbing, and slaughtering their way to freedom. And this is such a close game, but I think the Tomb Kings are starting to take a relatively big advantage as the Eternal Guard are getting dragged down here by the Skeleton Chariots, who still manage to get some okay damage value and kills, despite that really lovely early snare from the Wood Elves. The Skeleton Horse Archers are going to pick apart some of the remaining Wild Riders here in the back. Glade Guard, though, are still firing in. A lot of the ammunition is starting to drain on them, and some of the ones with the most ammo are unfortunately being shut down by summons as well as Ark the Black, which is causing them all kinds of problems right now. Tomb Scorpion seems to be going down, so that Tomb Scorpion has been dealt with. The Shopsy themselves are also starting to run a little bit thin on the ground ammo-wise, but the fact there are these really hardcore, bad-to-the-bones Tomb Guard of Halberds left alive with no Drycha to pendulum them, it's looking a little rough, I think, for the Wood Elves. But saying that, Wild Riders do get onto some pretty decent targets. The Shopsy are struggling. There's a decent amount of Eternal Guard left, and some Dryads in the back as well. All these guys saying, oh, just good luck, have fun, and all that good stuff. Nice to see some good sportsmanship. Wild Riders are doing a decent job, though, hunting down the Horse Archers, and the Shopsy have been beaten back at the moment. And oh no! Disaster! Disaster! Ark the Black has found himself in that same killing pit that the Tomb Scorpion was in, and although he did a good job forcing off multiple units of Glade Guard which had ammo, and this unit as well who used up the remaining shots, he kind of left this last unit firing in. And Glade Guard, I know they don't have the fanciest name like Way Watchers or Deepwood Scouts, they will still bring down the Lord if given time. And it looks like Arkan is somehow stabilising with only 239 HP. Glade Guard do eventually get shut down here by some Skeleton Horsemen. Unfortunately for Arkan, more Glade Riders have rallied to the battle cries of these remaining Wild Riders who charge into the deep. Once more, send with me, lads. One more time, and Ark the Black has been dealt a killing blow. This could come down to a kite game. Though the Wood Elves have enough ammo to kill the triple remaining Tomb Guard, I think they might just do it. I thought it was all over. There was no way the Wood Elves are going to win this, but the Tomb Guard down this flank are getting overwhelmed. 2 units remaining are going to start to crumble if they consistently take fire like this. But there's no summons left on the field, no Spirit Leeches, no range. They're going to have to sit there and tank it. The Wood Elves can slowly drip feed unit after unit. If you run out of ammo, send the Glade Guard in to pin the enemy in place. The Tomb Guard have been surrounded, and the Glade Guard are lighting the sky with the wrath of the Wood Elves. Look at them go. The Tomb Guard are just being destroyed, put back into the graves from whence they came. Eternal Guard will move up to pin these Tomb Guard in place. Balance of power massively in favour of the Wood Elves right now, and it looks like that is going to be game. I can't believe it. I thought the Tomb Kings had this. I really did. There's no way they can absorb this ammo. 9 volleys there, 3 volleys, 4 volleys. Yeah, it's simply too much. Army losses is going to kick in, and unfortunately the Tomb Kings shall fall. Oh my god. That was wild. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. What's up, Scarbrand? How you doing, man? Yeah, he set up those good crossfires. Well played there to Deadly Bunnies. Put up a really fabulous performance, but Shazam has really taken that early loss, bounced back off the ropes, and came in with 2 haymakers quickly and took out mighty Deadly Bunnies. Really nice Wood Elf play, and this is exactly the type of Wood Elf build that I like up against the Tomb Kings. Very wide. Drycha, 400 damage value. Unfortunately, getting sniped early on looked like it was going to really cost the Wood Elf forces, but all round the damage was relatively well spread on a lot of the ground forces. 1,000 damage value on this unit, Wild Riders, is quite nice. I really do think he brought these guys simply to counter the chariots for the most part, but again, having those fast-moving units to hop into the back line can be really good. As for the Glade Guard, I mean, 855 damage value, 1,635, 882, and 1.3k range arrow dominance by the Wood Elves, and that is what you expect from the Wood Elves, of course, lore-wise and both in the game. Arkan the Black did great, 1.4k damage value, put on a really solid performance to snipe Drycha, but found himself wildly out of position in the end game. I understand the need to push into that Glade Guard back line, but once he had done that, it did cost him a Tomb Scorpion, as well as Arkan himself. Skeleton Chariots got okay damage value in the mid-500s, not bad considering they got slaughtered early on. And the Tomb Guard, though they got nice kills, didn't really get much value. And the Tomb Scorpions kind of paid for themselves. They didn't pay for themselves, sorry. 730 damage value and 88. Not good work by them. The Shopsy, though, 1.1, doing a decent job. And the Horse Archers did okay as well. GG's. GG's. Cool. So up next, we have Mr. Dacta and Neckbut as well. So if you guys would like to hop in the lobby, all of the maps are down in the Discord. But if you want to know them, there are Eshen, Languil, and Iron Sand Desert. So I'll wait for one of them to load, and then we'll change the scoreboard. But for now, we will pop it at a 2-1. Lovely little comeback there. And we'll obviously be seeing him again in the final. Well played to you, Bunnies, though, as well. If you are watching this, you had a fantastic tournament, man. Did some good job for sure. For sure. Oh no, people were arguing about Dark Elves again. About Dark Elves being OP. Marathi, 2 Manticores, 2 Assassins, a bunch of chaff and cheap cav. Yeah, that's the way to play Dark Elves deck. Well, that is a very good way to play it. Oh no, Wood Elves don't have to use Glade Guard. Alright, sure guys. I don't think he's saying you're trash, I just think he's saying he plays Dark Elves in a different way. Let's see what... Oh! Hello there. Quack. Hey lads. Thanks for waiting. Yeah, so Dacta, honestly, I feel so bad for my boy. Dacta's such a cool dude. A really awesome player as well. He's been waiting more in this tournament than playing, I'm afraid. Just because of the way the bracket came down. I love Dark Elves, but yeah, I can't disagree that they have the most narrow pattern of playing with almost one Lord. Yeah, like, well, I think Malekith does have potential in certain matchups, and a lot of the other Lords generally do have potential, but they're just nowhere near as powerful as Marathi, and that's kind of a big problem for them in general. The first pick is going to... Let's have a little double check. It is the top of the bracket, so it shall be Neckbut. Yep, you to pick first. So, how do we spell Neckbut is the question. We will have to write that down, because my memory is like a sieve. But like a sieve without any of the small holes, like a gigantic sieve, like a huge one. Not made for ducks, but made for some kind of industrial grade. I don't know, like grade pasta. So, well played to these two champs. I'm sure we'll be seeing them both soon, but of course, Shrev will be making it to the finals. And, boop. So let's reset the scores. On the right-hand side, representing ODM, as he does always really well in tournaments, is the mighty Dacta. Let's pop him to the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, we have the might of Neckbut, who I think may be making his debut on the channel in DBD, I think. He's definitely played in King of the Hills and stuff, and on replays. Bam. Cool. So, He picks Vampire Counts as a first pick. Let's take this off again. Hola, how's it going? Let's take this off a cliff. Pick Vampire Counts, ban Wood Elves and High Elves. I mean, 2 great bans. Love it, yo. Look like Doctor's ready to rumble as well. I love it. I love it. So, Vampire Counts as a first pick is a bold choice, but, I mean, Neckbit, of course, is a count main. And the problem here is, if he loses game 1, there's a good chance he won't get to play his Vampire Counts. So, if you got a favorite faction and you're up first, yeah, sometimes you just have to pick him. And, you know, I'm sure he's very versed at taking on most other factions. Banning Wood Elves is great because air cheese can really screw you over. And likewise, banging High Elves. High Elves are just almost impossible for counts to deal with. And looks like Dacta is going to be bringing out the Dark Elves, though, trying to do Ice Power Proud, I assume. Lotus Moon! What's up, champ? How you doing, bud? I saw you were streaming earlier on. I keep missing your streams. It's very frustrating. I'm always busy when you're doing it. Hopefully I'll catch some in the future. 20 stack just easy to use nowadays? Oh, yeah. 20 stack is the way to go. At the moment. I would agree that 20 stack is relatively comfortable. Bringing back Cav, Chariot's been a threat to non-spared chaff. I feel like Chariots are still very good. I've seen a lot of good play of Chariots recently. Even ones that aren't busted. So I know like there's Tuskal Chariots and there's Boar Chariots and stuff. But I've seen the Skeleton Chariots do some really good work. Particularly by King of the Dead brought them in a faction war we had recently. And they really ran over a ridiculous number of troops. Will he bring SS? What's SS, Diego? I'm not going to lie, I know a lot of people complain about this latest patch. There's definitely bugs that need to be fixed. But, my god, I'm enjoying it like 20,000 times better than the last one. I stopped playing in tournaments in the last patch. I did not enjoy, like, the green skins. The green skins put me off, like, the entire game. They're still very powerful. I do admit, green skins are still very good. Which I'm glad they are. I'm glad they didn't nerf them into, like, the Infinity realm. But they're just not, like, you know... Okay, you play green skins, I play green skins, then we'll play the tournament, if you know what I mean. They are beatable, which is nice. Oh. Dark Discord, by the way. Okay. Boop. Hello. Cool. Geese, Howard, you may receive a message in a second from Dacta, hopefully. As you are the modern show right now. Yeah, the balance is honestly, like, not that bad right now. I mean, people will probably disagree with me on this, but I actually really do enjoy the game, like, way more now. As, you know, once the Luminaire effect stuff changes, for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, Lois. Definitely some could be more of a threat. Oh, Soul Stealer. Sorry, I'm so blind. I don't know why I didn't think SS was Soul Stealer. Unpopular opinion, but Beastmen equals greenskins from last patch now. They can even beat former straight counterpicks. I mean, to a point, I think Beastmen are a little overtuned. Once the Tuskal Chats come down, though, because they are obviously a little bit overbugged at the moment, then I think they'll be in a fine place. I do think they're going to still be one of the best factions in the game. But to be honest, anything replacing greenskins at the top had my blessing, like, from the last one. I think it was because I played so many more tournament games on the last patch. In, like, the WWC and stuff, I literally faced greenskins in every single one, I think. Maybe not one or two, but I went through, like, 3 of the group stages and played greenskins every single time, in every single game, and it was just... my mind exploded a bit. What's up, Gwag? How's it going, champion? Hope you're a good man. Haven't seen you around in a little while. They're very strong without bugs too. Oh, for sure. For sure. I still think Beastmen are going to be very good. Beastmen fans, don't worry. But I think they will be, you know, still there or thereabouts. Up there with kind of the Greenskins, the Lizardmen, Bretonia. You know, very powerful factions at the moment. Yeah, like, Beastmen were so bad for so long that seeing them, like, you know, do actually, you know, good is kind of nice to see. So, the Vampire Counts. A very bold first pick. We kind of went through why Neckbit may have done it, though. He's 100% a Vampire Count main, and he wants to ensure he at least gets to play them in this best of 3. So, up in the skies with a Von Carstein Vampire Lord. Coming in with Flock of Doom, Invocation Heck, and Raised Dead, as well as the rather useful spell, Storm of the Night, a very powerful Vortex that works in the exact same way pretty much as Tempest. We have a Vampire of Death with Spiraleech alongside his homie. We have a Necromancer down on the ground, so a lovely little hero core there. And it is going to be about as much of a swarm as you can get from the Vampire Counts, I suppose. A load of zombies on the front line, backed up by a load of Graveguard in the secondary line, including the Regiment Renown Skeleton Warriors, which is pretty cool. And we do have a couple of doggos, 2 direwolves, 2 fellbats, and of course the Claw of Nagash. Looking spooky, creepy, and downright disgusting as always. This guy, I don't know who he is, but he's always so pumped to be riding into battle on that thing. For the Dark Elves, it is going to be a pretty traditional way of playing Dark Elves, actually. This is like how you play Dark Elves up against Vampire Counts. You get the Hellebronai, you get a load of Blackguard of Nagarond, Witch Elves, Spearmen. Actually, double Black Hawk Corsairs is a nice pick as well, triple in fact. And yeah, you use a defensive box with a couple of Assassins. I actually don't mind a Death Hag being in here as well, but double Assassin, very good right now. Web of Shadows, very powerful. And then we have Marathi alongside them with Soul Stealer. I actually faced almost this identical build. It was slightly different. There was a Death Hag, there was only 2 units of Black Hawk Corsairs. I posted it on the channel recently, and that was from the point of view of the Vampire Counts. And spoiler alert to that game, we managed to overcome it, and it was mainly actually down to our use of Vlad von Carstein, believe it or not, where he managed to tank an Assassin Marathi and a Death Hag, and like beat them back time and time again. It was still a ridiculously close game, but it was one of the funnest games I've had in quite some time. Anyway, let's pop into this. Thanks for the streams and GG. No worries, Blackthorn. No worries, my bud. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon, man. So the Vampire Counts, of course, will slowly, ponderously, but deliberately be moving forward to engage their enemy. We are going to see Spiraleech come down. Now, Spiraleech is going to be very good up against the Dark Elves. Unlike their other pointy-eared brethren, they do not have access to healing. Well, they have Soul Stealer, but they don't have, you know, Earthbloods or a Life Caster or anything like that. So Spiraleeches is going to be very good. We're going to see a very slow approach by Neckbit, I believe. Slowly training the zombies and just buying more and more time for these Spiraleeches to come in. It looks like a Mortal Will was popped for some reason on the Vampire of Death. Maybe they miscast and it was an overcast Spiraleech? I don't know. That might have been a bit of a mistake there, I think, from the Vampire of Death, I'm afraid. Von Carstein Vampire Lord is going to be floating up as well. It looks like we are going to be receiving our first Flock of Doom, and the Counts are going to be playing the ultimate slow game right here. You're going to have to kill all of our zombies before we decide to engage in hand-to-hand combat with you. K9 Assassin, though, is doing some lovely work onto the Von Carstein Vampire Lord. Charmed Shield is popped, half a second too late, but still a nice play there to stop any more damage coming in, and we have that second Spiraleech coming up onto the plate. We have the Wand coming down. It would seem like it's going to hit the Graveguard here, which isn't a bad target, I suppose. They do go for that attempted dodge, but it's very hard to dodge this spell, if at all possible. And yeah, they take some really nasty burst damage right there. Von Carstein Vampire Lord has taken quite a lot of work. The zombies have been slaughtered as well in the front line. Zombies on the right-hand side are struggling at the moment up against the Dread Spears. Witch Elves will move forward against the zombies, where they will slice, dice, and laugh their way to victory. But the zombies are starting to run out here, so zombies are moving up on the left-hand side, and we have the Direwolves waiting in the wings. Is he going to be able to grind down the Dark Elves this way? I don't know. I don't know, because a lot of the chaff is being lost, which would obviously help the Claw of Nagash in the later stages of the game. It's certainly a viable tactic, and the Spiraleech is coming down on this K9 Assassin to try and finish it off. He's using so much Winds of Magic just to try to kill one of the Assassins, and we still have another one and Marathia left for the later stages of the game. Witch Elves do cut their way through the zombies quite comfortably. Dread Spears have done the same. And it looks like, yeah, the zombies are going to be struggling quite badly at the moment. There is going to be a Goonin attempt coming in by the Von Carstein Vampire Lord and the Vampire of Death, who then very quickly do retreat. Unfortunately, they did 0 damage. You're going to take a load of bolts in the back of the dome for their efforts. Yeah, not good for those poor lads, I'm afraid, who do decide to run away. Blackguard of Nagrond are engaging with the last unit of zombies. The other ones are slowly being destroyed. And after that moment, Vampire Counts, unfortunately, will be forced to move forward. Now, at the moment in the rules, you are allowed to attack with summons. But I'm afraid, after this season of DBD, because I'm keeping the same rules, of course, for the whole season, after this season, summons, at least for now, the basic rule will be summons, at least of a certain value, will no longer count as attacking. So just keep that in mind, guys, that in future events I host, that will start to become the norm. But of course, right now, if the counts want to do that, that is absolutely fine. It is in the rules. Dread Spears do kill some of these last zombies. This other unit is about to go down, and the Graveguard are moving forward to engage their enemy in the glories of war. Have they done enough damage to kind of explain the loss of all of those zombies? They've got one assassin down to about half health, and he's still going to get his Web of Shadows off. That's kind of the problem. You need to kill him rather than just damage him right here, otherwise it's going to be a bit of a rough time. Dark Elves do retreat back, using their bows from the Black-Hawk Corsairs to continuously rain fire down now on the Graveguard. Move back, shoot, move back, shoot. The Assassins as well, of course, are going to be shooting in where possible, and the Hellebroni and the Blackguard of Nagrond can engage with the enemy if need be, but they can continue to fall back right now. Black-Hawk Corsairs, of course, will be continuously shooting in. They do have the Firewall's moving trait, which is quite nice, and they come back in to try to push away the Graveguard. And this is some really, really nasty damage coming down on these Graveguard right now, who are dropping quite a few models. They do have great weapons as well, so not shielded. 80 armor isn't going to be the best, and now it is the Dark Elves' turn to have, the kind of upper hand in this fight. So to start with, we have to endure these Spirit Leeches, endure all the enemy, but then we can take the fight to the Graveguard and finish them off if need be. Blackguard are currently engaging with the Graveguard down here. Invocation Heck has been popped on them. K-Knight Assassins are both active though, as well as Marathi, and I don't think there's much hope here for the Claw of Nagash. We are going to be seeing I believe, Web of Shadows coming down maybe, or a Soul Stealer. It is the first Soul Stealer. Unfortunately, it kind of backfires. It only catches the bats on this left-hand side, and nothing in the main fight. The Graveguard are taking quite a bit of punishment right now, but the K-Knight Assassin himself has taken a ton of work. It looks like both Assassins could potentially be killed here. This is some really lovely play coming in right now by the Vampire Count. Both K-Knight Assassins will be forced off, but can they rally and come back in? They do pop a Web of Shadows, slowing down all these troops, and then Marathi comes in just to slap around the Von Carstein Vampire Lord. There's basically... that Vampire Lord does not want to tussle with Marathi whatsoever. She will dumpster him in a second. Dark Elves holding out with some of the spears as well as the Blackguard and falling back where possible, just picking apart the Dark Elf, the Vampire Count build. Honestly, this is some really amazing play right now by Dacta, just to pull this force apart, isolate all of these units and drag them down. But the Direwolves have now sprung their trap neck, but certainly not out of this yet, looking to surround Black-Hawk Corsairs and really sink their teeth in, rip their throats open and do some nice damage. The Vampire of Death does come in, a lovely once again. Neckbird's done a really good job of every time a Soul Stealer comes in, he pulls it out of the most dangerous areas, although he's now driving it back in, unfortunately, and all these Graveguard are taking quite a bit of punishment there. Black-Hawk Corsairs once again going to be falling back towards the Graveguard at the moment. The second assassin, or the first assassin, I'm not sure which one this one is, has now been dealt with. It looks like both assassins are not really that long for this world anymore, and maybe if they can snipe Marathi, yes, she's got the bonus versus large, but double single entities might be able to kill her, and then there could be a good chance for the Vampire Counts to win this. Graveguard are still going strong, but there's a lot of angry Witch Elves, and Blackguard of Nagrond still afoot. Claw of Nagash as well is taking quite a pounding at the moment. Necromancer is doing his best Vin Diesel approach and slow-mo grinding his way into the enemy, and both the Flyers are still desperately trying to finish off this K-Knight Assassin. Marathi is well and truly hidden amongst the Blackguard of Nagrond, which, of course, is going to be absolutely fine for her if the enemy do come in to snipe, but if they can punt her wide, that might be quite nice. Necromancer is going to fall over to this right-hand side, but down the Claw of Nagash goes, which is a huge loss right now for the Vampire Count forces. This matchup's already hard enough, and losing your Claw of Nagash is not going to be good news whatsoever. The Flying Vampires probably need to kill Marathi right now. to have any chance, and even then, the Witch Elves are simply going to rampage them, so they can't use their spells. Soul Sealer comes in. Marathi, though, gets absolutely slaughtered there. This combo is so good by Neckbert. The Von Cosline Vampire Lord and the Vampire of Death. I've seen more and more people bring the Vampire of Death up in the sky. Decimating Marathi right now. Balance Power, though, is still against them, and there's no way. There's just so many Blackguard of Nagron left. I think the Vampire Counts played it pretty good. Was it worth getting the Assassin down to half health for the loss of all of the zombies? I don't know. I think maybe pushing together might have been slightly better, but it's tough to say. It's an almost impossible matchup anyway for the Vampire Counts, and I think he did a good job, but unfortunately, despite managing to show Marathi what's what, there is so much elite Dark Elf forces left on the battlefield. Graveguard getting slaughtered, Necromancer as well. It is looking really bad right now for the Vampire Counts, and I believe that is going to be game and army losses soon. Graveguard down to the 6 models. 121 kills isn't too shabby on them whatsoever, though. A lot of those could be on Dread Spears rather than the more elite troops. Down goes the Necromancer, down goes the Graveguard, and the Vampire as well shall crumble into dust. That was an absolute wild game. That was insane. That was insane. Yeah, would like to see their chaff get a bit cheaper, even if the stats drop as well. Oh, was that for Dark Elves? Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. What a game. What a game. Baiting out the Soul Sealers was really nice by Party Eternal here, aka Neckbert, but I love this combo. This combo was nasty. 1.5, 2.1 damage value across the boys. So much work done there, but despite that, the zombies, of course, got no value. I mean, they're so cheap, it probably is worth it. I don't know. Maybe using a zombie summon as well or two to actually finish off the assassin, because the problem here with the assassins, they got sniped, still got to use their Web of Shadows abilities, and that's what he was really looking to stop. Graveguard were pretty solid. I mean, 900 damage value, 1.3. The others faring a little bit shy of their value, but you know, that's what you expect. Claw of Nagash getting assassinated was a big loss, because that was one of the only things left alive in the late game to drag down a lot of the Dark Elf forces, and because he had sacrificed that chaff early on, which is fine to do, but it means he had no chaff in the late game, he couldn't protect the Claw of Nagash, and the Dark Elves did run over the enemy. Marathi, 1.9 damage value. Beautiful Marathi play as always. Assassins, 1.4 and 474. Witch Elves, I mean, massive kills across the board. Look at this, 120, 86, 183, 99, but a lot of them were zombies. The Blackguard of Nagron have a 1.6, 1.2, 500 damage value. And those Hambos, 1,000, 1.5, and 1,000 damage value. GG's, man. GG. Great game. I don't know what's going on. Wait. What's the next map? I have no good ideas. I don't know what's happened. Dacta seems to have had a midlife crisis mixed in with a existential crisis. GG. Man, those flying lords were badass. Wood Elves ban Tomb Kings and Wood Elves, I guess. I don't know what Dacta's coming up to. Those guys can mirror match if they want. Of course. But you cannot play the same faction twice, I'm afraid, Neckbert. That is not allowed, if that's what you were getting at there. So, Mr. Dacta is going to be 1-0 up right now. What's up, Ty Guy? How's it going today, man? Hope you're all good. Dark Elves better than Greyskins confirmed. I mean, Gwag's got a point. Hey, but Britannia Skaven can still go wide. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good game. Too low, too late. Yeah, finishing off Marathi was good. I mean, it's tough. He did a really good job sniping the single entities of the Dark Elves, but then there wasn't too much left. That's what I'd think, yeah. Only a few weeks to patch. Yay, did they say? Did they say if there's going to be a patch or not? I haven't heard if there's any news. I probably should look into that. If the Moors didn't get caught in the Blackguard, I think you would have had it. Yeah, possibly. possibly. But I was busy screaming at my heroes to hit the assassin. Yeah, honestly, that was some top-tier Vampire camp play in what is a very tough matchup. And I thought he did good. But alas, it was not enough. You missed the high elf discussion because of the game. I'd like high elves to get pretty improved. I would like it as well. I mean, high elves are actually still pretty good in tournaments, but if you do it, you have to bring like all the single entities, all the chariots, all the healing, and it's bleh. It's a bit bleh to watch. I mean, if it was single entities, but it was a dragon, you know, that's a little bit more cool. But dragons, unfortunately, do get stuck a little bit. I think it may be Wood Elves versus Beastmen. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. How are you guys enjoying the stream, by the way? I know we're cross-streaming with like 50 other YouTubers at the moment, but we can't affect the YouTube, of course, in that way. But if you guys are enjoying, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good standard YouTube-y stuff. I'm going to be bringing some more emojis as well to members of the channel, now that I've started adding them to my Discord as well. There's a really cool Oxyotl one, which is quite funny. Big Think, the biggest of thinks. We don't have to do it like this. Ooh, maybe getting some more Dark Elves. Ice, if you're still around in chat, this is probably going to be for you, man. It is probably going to be for you. Again, even more Dark Elf love. Cool. Just double checking I'd update the scoreboard. That biggest thing gave me Dark Elves. I feel like Negbert is deliberately countering himself. I'm so confused. I feel this is a decent matchup for Wood Elves. Or at least it has been historically. Maybe not so much now. Who knows? I mean, Squadron Chariots are the biggest pain in the butt, like, in the universe. Them and Ushopti, man. I still have a lot of hatred for both those units. But, not that they're, like, super OP or anything. But they are very good. And, apart from that, though, Wood Elves really can do quite a number over on the Dark Elves. Interesting to see how they approach this one. Much like the Tomb King matchup that we saw earlier, I would not mind a very wide Wood Elf build with some cavalry to pin in and catch those chariots once they run out of ammunition, and just don't give them any good targets, just have a load of cheap infantry. Well, as cheap as Wood Elves can go. Woo, lad, I love it. Dacta getting in the mood there. I can only watch so many streams. A corn duck emoji, Scarbrand. If you can... bloody crap stream. Lotus, you've broken my little duck heart. You've broken it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. For those who don't know, I'm sure you guys know. If you're watching me, you should know this by now. But Lotus Moon, the man, the myth, the legend, the god of micro, is also a... I believe you have a YouTube channel as well. He definitely has a YouTube channel. I've seen it. He has a YouTube channel as well as a Twitch channel. So definitely go check them out. I highly recommend. Does some really good point of view gameplay. If you're looking to improve your game, it's a good way to go. One of my first ever games was actually against Lotus Moon on his live stream. It did not go well for me. It did not go well. So, I was going to do something. What was I going to do? Oh, I know. I have no idea. I've been completely confused. I have been bamboozled. Yeah, Scarbrand, if you can design a corn duck emoji, send it to me on Discord, and I will upload it. For sure. Only use Hippo Knights if you want to climb ladder faster. Secret life hack. Hippo Knights are very cool. He loves the unwinnable matchups. I don't think this matchup's unwinnable, but it's certainly not good for the Dark Elves. They still have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. Lots of potential. Of course, you have Marathi. Although, against Wood Elves, Dacta is one of these players who somehow... even if his opponent outnumbers him like 20 to 1, somehow keeps his Waywatchers alive. And he is really good with that traditional Waywatcher style of play, so he may try it here. Dark Elves are very squishy and expensive, so Waywatchers certainly could be a good way to go, but you've got to be very careful if you try that tactic. I don't really play, I get drunk. Get drunk and put up some content, that's the main thing. I don't think Glade Guard are broken. Was that what the debate was about earlier with Glade Guard? They're very good. They're very good and cheap. But I mean, they're Wood Elf archers. It's kind of what they're known for, right? Thank you, Geese, as well, by the way, for pinning up the link, man. You're a champ. You're a champ. Double weapon soul sealer. Oh, yeah. Shades are the secret tool to compete with Wood Elves in this matchup. Might sound weird, but it's very good. I mean, you would probably know better than me. I'm sure you're a much better Dark Elf player. I do play a decent amount of Wood Elves nowadays. I really enjoy playing Wood Elves. I don't necessarily play them super traditional, or like what a lot of other people play them. But sometimes that can catch your opponent off guard, and you can get in and do some really nice work. There's some really fun builds I was taking, I don't know now, like a few months ago. I played in one of my own one-build Battle Royale tournaments, which there's going to be another one this week, guys. I'm going to put the link up after this tournament, probably on Tuesday, I would think. I'm going to take tomorrow off, and then Tuesday we'll do another stream, which is one build Battle Royale. Basically, you build one army, and you stick with that army for the duration of the entire tournament. So that's going to be good fun, and I actually played in one of my own tournaments and got to the final using a Glade Lord on a dragon, a great Stag Knight build. It was a work of art. It was hilarious. But anyway, we'll have to see what the boys do bring. So Nekbut, his back is against the ropes, but as we saw from that first semi-final, that by no way means that he is out of this game whatsoever. We have Bleak Swords dotted all the way along the front line. Cheap, very uncheerful, not happy to be here, but they are here indeed, going to try to absorb some of the enemy pressure. We then have Dread Spears as well to back them up. Seems like quite a few of them. And it is a Dark Shard fight. So the Dark Elves trying to outshoot the Wood Elves. We have 4 Dark Shards. We have Dark Riders as well into the sunset. My god, we have a lot of Dark Riders as well as the Snecious Harvesters, the Regiment Renown Doomfire Warlocks. For the leadership kitty, we do have a Knight Assassin, of course, as always, alongside Malekith on the ground. It looks like Nekbut is a man of class and culture and shall be sipping his wine tonight as he plays. As he brings Malekith, again, of course, it is just going to be Soul Stealer, but it also has the Gaze of Malice and Stanch Ground. Pretty cool build. I like it quite a bit. Trying to kind of play the Wood Elves at their own game slightly. And Dacta, the boy, is going to come in with his style of Wood Elf play, which is super traditional and super good. Triple Weight Watchers shall be his weapons of choice. And they're going to have a good time as long as they can get onto the key targets. But it's going to be a little bit hard for that as well. We're going to have to see some good micro. We don't have a Glade Lady. So no net could be a bit of a problem with those Dark Riders overrunning the Way Watchers. Instead, we have the Sisters of Twilight up in the sky. We also have some Wild Riders. It looks like Tunus. Wild Riders really popular in today's tournament. I really do feel Great Stag Knights are quite a bit better at the moment, but Wild Riders are, I suppose, a little bit better in this role of just holding back and protecting rather than getting aggressive to do the damage. We have a load of Eternal Guard as well, dotted throughout. Nothing too fancy on that part of the battlefield. And a Branch Wraith coming with Pendulum and Earthblood, 2 very good spells. I actually quite like one of the abilities on the Branch Wraith, not certainly in this build, but it gives +5 melee attack to nearby homies. And also a Scroll of Shielding can be quite useful, but I think a lot of the money has gone into the Way Watchers, and then it's simply we protect the Way Watchers, and if that happens, we win. If it doesn't happen, we lose. Should be a good fun scrap. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Eagle Rush build. Oh man, Eagles are cool as well. I love the dual-bladed shades as well. I know the basic shades are kind of just better in general. Greatsword ones have their place, but... So a little sip of my drink as this battle gets underway. That's the good stuff. Man, I've got one of those innocent smoothies, and they're so good. So, Sisters of Twilight are shooting in. It looks like they go down the flank there of the Dark Shards, doing some okay damage. Some of the shots did unfortunately clip the trees though, so the own Wood Elf trees betraying them. Maybe these are those trees which don't actually like the elves being in their forest. Way Watchers have opened fire on the Dark Shards, and it looks like the Sisters of Twilight are trying to focus down the same unit. This is really good what you do with the Wood Elves. You focus one target, you kill it, you move on to the next one, and my god, that volley did so much work. Dark Shards down to nearly half HP from one volley, but again, they're not going to be the opportune targets for the Way Watchers. There's not too much punch in this build apart from those archers, so they really do need to assassinate all of the big hitters for the Dark Elves. Way Watchers continue to focus down that weakened unit, that lovely focus fire. It looks like they may even break, and they just about stabilize there. Sisters of Twilight have found themselves in a really nice position. This is some good positioning by Dacta, so he can shoot down the flanks of the enemy with that burst shot, and he's doing quite a lot of work there. You can see already they're up to 26 kills. Way Watchers falling back to the forest are still focused firing down at the Dark Shards. He's trying to move back and out into this open plain. A lot of kiting, of course, is what you expect from the Wood Elf forces. Way Watchers obviously moving and shooting where possible, and the Dark Shards take quite a pounding once again. And oh, this is brutal. This is so brutal. Sisters up to 31 kills, but again, they're not going to be doing the most damage. Moving to single shot and focusing down the K-Knight Assassin would be a good idea, but of course, the Assassin is currently hidden and no one knows of his whereabouts. The Dark Shards are probably calling for his aid, help us, but they unfortunately do fall back, and two units are looking very beat up and beleaguered at the moment. But as I said before, once the Dark Elves do engage with the Wood Elves, it's not going to go too well for the Wood Elves. They're simply going to get overrun and have to protect with the Wild Riders, who are currently floating around this flank. Looks like we actually have 3 units of the Wild Riders. That's a decent amount of punch. I thought there was only 2. This unit of Dark Shards is being protected right now by the Tenacious Harvesters, which isn't a bad idea, just to stop the Sister of Twilight going over there and finish them off for good. But it looks like he decided, you know what, I need to get them to the front line. As the Wood Elves continue to kite backwards, Wild Riders do burst forth from the trees, looking to hunt down the Dark Riders, and they've certainly got their speedy legs on here today. Up to 85 speed, up against the 92 of the Dark Riders, but still nearly catching because of those charge animations. A lovely few shots do come down by the Way Watchers. Now, you may be wondering, if you're a newer player, why on earth is he getting these expensive Way Watchers to shoot the Dark Shards? And that is because he wants to gain the mobility advantage and just control the map. That is what the Wood Elves almost always want in a lot of matchups. And if you can hunt them down, there's not really too much which can get in there and really pressure the Way Watchers, who are currently doing a good job finishing off the Dark Shards. Malekith has Soul Stealer, so he has the potential to heal. So the Wood Elves don't really want to give him that opportunity if at all possible. Sister of Twilight are still obliterating the Dark Shards in the back, looking to finish them off, and this unit unfortunately has been isolated. Sisters could save the ammo and dart down into combat to really butcher this unit. I think wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Way Watchers are continuing to shoot. Of course, they have fled to their trees, which is of the Wood Elf way. Eternal Guard as well are moving backwards at the moment at all times, as the Bleak Swords look to engage with the Eternal Guard. They have finally managed to catch them. The shield wall has been formed just in the nick of time, and the Bleak Swords will try to decapitate their more, I'm not going to say more friendly elves. The Wood Elves are pretty mean. They only really care about one thing, and that is some woods that they live in. Wild Riders get hit with a Word of Pain and ambushed by the Dark Riders, as well as the Tenacious Harvesters. A lovely play right here by Neckbird. These Wild Riders are not going to be having a good time, but oh my god, the counter punch once again. You can never rest when Dacty's around, and that shot comes in, hitting all of these cav in the behind there, doing some good work. A fat Soul Stealer catches the Way Watchers, as well as the Wild Riders doing some good job, and these Wild Riders are now floating out to this side to try to deal with the enemy cavalry, and perhaps even save these Wild Riders. Eternal Guard are saturated in as well. These Dark Riders need to fall back as quickly as possible. Eternal Guard are holding them back. A ridiculous tide of Dark Elves, as more shots do start to fall in. The Branch Wraith leading the charge there, or leading the defense, I should say, of the Way Watchers. Malekith is pushing through, as well as Bleak Swords right now, but the cavalry, that was such a risky engagement. I love the idea. Word of Pain overwhelmed those Wild Riders, but as soon as the Eternal Guard got there, as soon as the second unit emerged, they needed to fall back, because this is so key to shutting down the Way Watchers right now, who still have a decent amount of ammunition. Eternal Guard have been surrounded. The Big Fat Pendulum tried to save them, and Earthblood has gone down, but K-Knight Assassin with Malekith are really comfortably going to be able to beat the living snot out of this Branch Wraith, unfortunately. Wild Riders are now in the back line themselves, hunting down the Dark Shards. It looks like one unit has already broken. Dark Riders are running for their lives. The Doomfire Warlocks are nearly done for, though we do get another Soul Stealer come down. Way Watchers have complete free reign to start focusing down units. Looks like they are still going after the Dark Riders, which is a relatively decent choice. The Sister of Twilight are starting to run out of ammunition, and there is still a lot of Dark Elves to kill, which could cause big problems now. Balance Power is massively in favour right now of the Wood Elves. We do get a juicy Soul Stealer go down on all the Way Watchers here. The Doomfire Warlocks, unfortunately, do get slaughtered there, and there is still 60 Eternal Guard here. The Dark Riders are trying to force their way into this back line, but unfortunately for them, do get caught on something. A lot of the units of the Wood Elves are starting to break them. Look how many Bleak Swords that are left on the battlefield, as well as an Assassin and Malekith. Dark Shards in the back do get hit and run on by the Wild Riders, though, and that could be a bit of a problem into the later stages of the game. Dark Riders are eventually going to be able to get on top of that juicy unit, the Way Watchers here, and start killing some models. They probably won't be around here for too long. There's going to be a lot of crossfire coming in, and yeah, those Dark Riders just die. That did not go well for them, but at least they killed some Way Watchers, applied some pressure, and forced them to use their ammo. Branch Wraith is unfortunately going to be running for her life. The Sister of Twilight are up to 178 kills. My god, 2,000 damage value. Lovely play so far by them. They're going to have to do a lot of cycle charging to get rid of all of that infantry. The Assassin and Malekith should probably be the focus of attention for the Weight Watchers, and then you use the enemy leadership against itself as the big sister comes in and terrifies off all the enemies. Do they cause terror on this film, or just fear? Just fear, but I mean, lowering that leadership is going to be pretty huge. Anyway, Tunnel Guard do make their stand in the trees up against the Bleak Swords. This other unit is going to be kiting and running back. Malekith is a huge target right now, but the trees once again save him. My god. It looks like the trees obey the Dark Elves, not the Wood Elves. And almost all of those shots go into a tree and do nothing. Sisters of Twilight are considering a bit of a bombing run down on Malekith, which can be slightly risky, because the one problem with this is that you can shoot your own Lord. Sisters of Twilight do go in. It looks like Stand Your Ground has been popped, so it looks like the Sisters main deed go after that Assassin instead. But we do get an Assassin's Trophy, so she needs to get up in the sky. Malekith does then take a load of shots successfully this time to the face, and he is feeling the burn a little bit. The Dark Elves continue to push through on all fronts. Tunnel Guard are desperately holding the line. We do have Wild Riders who can return back to the battlefield. This is such a close game. Balanced Power has now swung back into the even portion as the Weight Watchers use more and more ammunition. Sisters of Twilight are taking a pounding, but remember, they do have that conjoined destiny and can be healed up. The Weight Watchers these days are nowhere near as accurate as they once were, I swear. I swear they got like a tiny actually debuff, and it seems to have been like actually huge, the effect of it, and they don't seem to be quite the killers they once were, though still very powerful units indeed. Dark Elf's going to be pushing through the trees on the prow once more. Malekith is going to be taking some of those single shots from the Sisters of Twilight, trying to finish them off. And there's still 36 Wild Riders. They're crashing into the back of these Bleak Swords, can do some nice damage there. Probably want to float over and do the same onto this unit. And then you have a nice few units of Eternal Guard, nice and healthy, to protect the Weight Watchers once more, who are running dangerously low on ammo right now. 2 volleys here. 2 volleys here, and 7 volleys. This unit needs to stay alive. Looks like the K-Knight Assassin has managed to be finished off. Unfortunately, the Sisters of Twilight have not been taken off fire at will, and they fire some wasteful shots into the Bleak Swords. Lovely little spell comes down, catching the Wild Riders and Eternal Guard, though they did manage to seal the deal. Man, this late game micro has been pretty on point by the Wood Elves, but is it enough? The Assassin looks like he may be able to come back and rally, but he will be very squishy with his HP so low. Malekith could tank this out, and he hasn't used too much magic, so there could be plenty of Soul Sealers left in the tank. Weight Watchers need to get their eyes on the prize and finish him off here, whilst Wild Riders do some glorious cycle charging, but instead they lose a volley into the Bleak Swords. I don't know, I mean, maybe clearing out the chaff is a good idea right now. Maybe, but I think the Wild Riders could possibly do that with the Sisters of Twilight, who are currently bouncing around combat like no tomorrow, and that hill can be pretty huge, but you don't want them to get weak and then your army really suffer and break because of it. So, it's a little bit of a risk, particularly doing it this late into the game, and the Sisters of Twilight gets stuck on a log. Oh my god, the trees hate the Wood Elves today, and it looks like the Sisters of Twilight getting stuck on the trees. Might not be able to escape here. Unfortunately, Conjoined Destiny hasn't been popped. They're still too healthy, and that's really bad news because they're just low HP right now. They need to charge down on some Dread Spears or something, somewhere they can get away and escape easily before popping that buff. Weight Watchers are out of ammunition on 1 unit, and 2 units in fact. The other unit just 3 rounds left. Balanced Power quite heavily in favour of the Dark Elves, but simply due to, of course, how injured the Sisters of Twilight are. This could generally come down to if they get their Conjoined Destiny. So Sisters of Twilight are getting hit by Soul Sealer, as is basically the entirety of the Wood Elf force, apart from this Weight Watchers with 1 ammo and the few Eternal Guard. And is that going to give... No, they didn't get hit by the Soul Sealer. They might have actually wanted to be hit by Soul Sealer here. They are swinging back into it, but of course it is only effective when you first proc it, rather than being something which like tracks, basically. This could be a real shame if Army Losses comes in, because there's so much potential left from the Sisters of Twilight. It looks like they're going after the Assassin, but that is the risk with the whole Conjoined Destiny thing. It is looking like Army Losses are getting danger close here, which is a real shame, because there's still so much potential left on this Wood Elf force. If that Conjoined Destiny does indeed get popped, I think they win. I think they straight up win. The Dark Elves don't want to attack the Sisters right now. Unless you're going to kill them, you don't want them to get that proc right now. Wild Riders charging to the back. Eternal Guard are in as well, trying to break the Bleak Swords. Sisters of Twilight are clinging on to 950 HP right now. Bleak Swords are coming back into the fray. The Weight Watchers aren't even using their ammo because of the effect it'll have on the balance of power. And the Wood Elves break. That is disaster for Dacta there. That is so unlucky. That is so unlucky. No, Sisters healing does work. It does work. I've used it recently. Their healing does go off, but you have to be below a certain threshold. for it to actually pop. If the Sisters Healing had gone off there, he wins comfortably, like so comfortably, cycle charging Malekith down in the end. But it's good news for us because we get an extra game between these two fine competitors. 245 kills, 2.8k damage value, 20,000 damage dealt. That is amazing work from them, and think what they could have done if they had actually healed. Brontraith getting assassinated was a bit of a sore point there for the Werewolves as well. Wild Riders, 1.2, 1,422 damage value. Not amazing, but not terrible. They did their job, which is protecting these bad boys who, though used up all their ammunition, this is kind of the problem sometimes with Weight Watchers. 900 damage value, 1.3, 1.1. It's good, but is it good enough? Sadly, no. Malekith was a raid boss, proving that Marathi should sit in the corner and cry somewhere because there is a new king in town. And he is the son, but soon to be the usurper of Marathi. 3.2 damage value on him, 1.1 on the assassin. Dark Elf heroes, man, they are scary. Their hero blobs they can bring to the battlefield is quite redonkulous. The Dark Riders didn't do too, but they did a lot of good pressure, but not much damage value. 1.1 on the beautiful Snatchers Harvesters. Dark Shards just got really well focused fired down by Dacta. GG. GG. That was madness. Army losses a little insane there. It was due to the HP of the Lords, I think. Worst army losses of all time? That was pretty terrible. I've seen worse army losses. Ice Power Ian is that right now in chat. Game of failure. That was pretty crazy. But it was due to the fact that Malekith was so healthy, I think, and still a spellcaster as well. So I kind of understand why the game gave it army losses, but the Sister Twilight needed their HP to stop that. But yes. I still think they do need an army losses mechanic in the game. It might need to change. Oh, this is Planet K rules-wise. Yeah, it was fine. But it does need to be in there just to stop people draw kiting on a ladder and that kind of stuff a little bit more. Imagine not taking the Dark Shards. Exactly, Lotus. Like, he would have had so much more money. But it did absorb basically all of the Weight Watchers shots, I suppose, rather than shooting Malekith. And Malekith kind of stole the game at the end. Sisters live to fight another day. Yeah, Sisters needed the heal earlier. To keep the army together in the end. Great game though. Super close stuff. And we move on. So it is 1-1. Man, both these semi-finals have been absolute crackers. Yeah, no, you're right. I do think army losses needs to be in the game though, personally, because yes, in tournament play it might be annoying, but in like ladder and stuff, it'd be a nightmare without it. It'd be a real nightmare. Because it does kind of counter like late game draw kiting and stuff. Yeah, Neckbook coming in though, man. Like, countering himself, or allegedly counting himself, I guess, from the general consensus, and performing amazing so far. That first game could have gone either way, and in that one there as well, was, obviously, Dark Elves allegedly, not favoured, but doing a really good job. It's definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely needed in quick battles. Like, there's no way. Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. It's the game. Yeah, of course. The game doesn't know that, like, the sisters will get healed, for example. And I mean, they might not. Like, in theory, you know, they would. We know they would. But in theory, they could stay too long in combat Malekith and get killed before it procs. So, obviously, we know Dacta's got the micro to pull out and not allow that to happen. But the game, you know, doesn't know who Dacta is, unfortunately. Although I'm sure they've heard rumours rumbling amongst the goblin hordes. Oh, I just realised I still had a question up for you guys. Let's quickly update the scoreboard as well from the other game. And then get rid of this. So what do you guys think of this? The Wood Elves versus Tomb Kings. Let's see what you guys said in the poll. A Turin raid incoming. Oh no! We're about to be swarmed! We're about to be swarmed. Any good Dairy Lizard matches missed? We have not seen the Dwarfs yet. We saw one Lizard Man game. It was a very quick game. It opened the stream, Grumpy Guard, and was very, very swift. I won't tell you which way. Yeah, Lotus, that's what I was getting at in the game as well. I think he should have eaten the Soul Stealer to pop the hill. It was very risky because Armilos was so close. It might push him over the limit, but it was the best way to get them nice and healed up, of course. Oh my god, Dacta's going Vampire Counts? Oh, he does play Vampire Counts. What am I talking about? Dacta actually won the last one-build Battle Royale tournament we did with Vampire Counts, which is pretty cool. Which is very cool. So we have Vampirates, Tomb Kings, and Chaos banning High Elves. So we have Counts banning Tomb Kings. Yeah, Chaos is garbage. Garbage in this matchup. So it's going to have to be VP. He's going Chaos. Man, Neckbert is on some wild stuff. Neckbert has been counterpicking himself, like, all the time. So it looks like you guys think Wood Elves was indeed favored. Oh no, the Raiders coming, I can hear the drums. I can hear the drums. Turin sending neck scratches, oh I love it. Massive shout out to Turin for sending you guys over. The GOAT, of course, amongst YouTube, well, YouTubers in general, but particularly in the Total War Warhammer multiplayer scene. Yeah, the hill proc takes like 30 seconds. Unwashed hordes of Turin fans coming with pitchforks. Oh no! I feel like I'm going to get dragged down. Yeah, it is Neckbert. You're questioning why Neckbert counterpicks himself. Chaos is okay versus Vampire Counts if you do stupid builds. I love it. If Sisters got the heal, Malekith would have gotten Cycle Charge to death easily. Oh yeah, I think if they got the heal... Well, I mean, that's, of course, including that the Wood Elf ground forces stay and fight. They were all very low HP, and wavering themselves. So, I mean, I don't think it was a sure, like 100% sure thing, because honestly, the Wood Elf forces were doomed, man. They did have some Wild Riders left, though, who could have bounced around and been annoying, so I do think the Wood Elves probably would have won it if Armilos didn't kick in, but it is what it is. It was a very good game regardless. This is too easy, let's make this harder. This is so PE. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Malekith might have just routed everything. Yeah. Like, if he did take the Soul Steal, which is probably, in hindsight, the best idea, the army might have broken anyway, whilst the 30 seconds was going off, you know? It was close. It was a close game for sure. But welcome everyone. All our skiing. Hi Turin refugees. Yeah, glad you guys have popped over. Hope his taunt went well. I think it was a 2v2. I was watching a little bit before my stream started while I was waiting for us to catch up. But I hope you guys are doing all good today. I hope you have had some good Total War content. And we're moving over to some also excellent stuff, hopefully. Hopefully. It's been going pretty good so far. We still have this game to go and then a best of 5 final. So we have a little while yet. Got a little bit more on the duck tank with us. How goes this? What's up, Turin, man? Hope you're all good, bud. Hope your tournament went well. RTK being screamed as well. Yes, so we actually have a VM player in the next round. We had 2 PE players playing as well. And they certainly could make it as well. But Dacta is a scary opponent. Quickly, going to bless Mr. Turin with... boop. You should now have a glorious moderator roller. We're just waiting on Dacta to hop into the carnage. It is going to be Chaos against Vampire Counts. And before any of you guys start screaming at the top of your lungs, how dare Dacta counterpick the glorious Chaos with Vampire Counts? Neckbert chose this. He counterpicked the Counts with Chaos because he is a madman. And I'm interested to see how it does go. Oh no, you guys brought the bots! No! Okay, luckily someone managed to cancel them. Yeah, we get Snish bots now and again. Yeah, they bring the bots. Man, it's the same. It's so annoying. I get the webcam, chat.com, like Hot Girls and Hot Boys one. There's one other as well, and no matter the amount of times that I report them for spam and ban them from commenting on my channel, they still like appear. So I don't know if they just change their names slightly, like add a space or something, and just go again. I don't know. I don't know. Tone will now just ban anyone who says the word haggard. Oh god. But yes, Iron Sand Desert, this is the second semi-final, the third game. It's about to get absolutely wild. Neckbert playing with his back against the wall against Dacta is just scrapping so hard. I thought Dacta might have taken it there in that last game, but alas, Malekith was too strong and came through with the victory. Let's have a little sip of our drink. Oh, no way. Oh! Where's Professor Pone when you need him? With a double giant build, which I don't think... I know people take the mick out of double giants. It might not be terrible here. It really might not. They're going to beat the Vargulfs quite comfortably. But let's go through the build anyway. So we have Chaos Warriors with Grey Weapons dotted all the way along. We also have the Demon Spew, Regiment Renowned Forsaken, and some Chosen with Halberds. Oh, hell yeah. This is some rock and roll heavy metal crap right here. Look at these guys. If I can actually catch up to them. They are so awesome. Personally, I think the Great Weapon ones are slightly more rock and roll, but still, Halberds, very, very cool. And we have two Chaos Giants. We'll call the one on the left here Professor, and then the one on the right, Pone. We do have a Prince Sigval down here, of course, with his armor to give him that glorious regeneration. We have some Chaos Spawn, which are quite useful because they're unbreakable here. And it's just a big old, I'm going to punch you really hard in the face style build, and we'll see how we do from there. Dacta is coming in with a load of zombies dotted all the way along the battle line. We then have a bucket ton of Graveguard, including some Skeleton Warriors as well in the mix. We do have Black Knights as well as Direwolves on either flank, and this is a disgusting little blob. So just hiding behind the Sternsman here, we do have a White King, double Vargulf, really good at cycle charging. We have a Necromancer as well as Helman Gorst. Now, Helman Gorst is like, oh my god, look at him scream and go. He's so happy to be out in the public eye. I know he's a bit of a meat. That sound effect is so bad, like so good. It's like someone's lightly rocking a bell, like on a cow. That's amazing. So Helman Gorst is actually very powerful at the moment due to the air effect abilities being so powerful and a little bit broken. You know, their air effect is a lot wider than it should be, and he's actually very powerful indeed. Who wins in your mind? We had the discussion on my stream. Dobby Harry Potter versus Gollum Lord of the Rings. Thank you so much, dude, for the $5 there. Easily Gollum. You can't kill Gollum with magic. He's been surviving for so long in Middle Earth. Gollum all day, every day for me. Dobby doesn't stand a chance. That little elf magic's not going to save him. Not going to save him whatsoever. Slash bots assemble. No! No. Yeah, the little clink clonk is so, like, we're so pitiful. But, you know, he's going to be moving forward, hopefully, and into the glorious tundra of war. Poor little Chaos Giant. Pone has been hit there on the nipple, it would seem. He's got a lot of blood on him already, and is taking a bit of a pounding. So the Chaos really are going to want to close the gap as quickly as possible to engage with the enemy. We do have the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire coming in with Burning Head, which is going to be quite nice if he can stay protected. He's on foot, however, so he's not exactly going to be able to run away from the enemy. But keeping him on foot does sometimes make you a bit more tanky if you do get flung around quite a bit. Chaos are starting to form a bit of a death blob here, which is a bit of a pro and a con. There's not too many ways to flank them, get in behind and get those negatives down. Helman Gorst, though, is going to have an absolute whale of a time if he stays away from Professor and Pone, because those Chaos Giants will butcher Helman Gorst in a matter of seconds. Luckily, he does have some Vargulf bodyguards, as well as the Whitekin who can come in here. Zombies about to take a charge, and this is the fight we've always wanted to see. Heavily armed elite warriors who have trained their entire lives for warfare, and some zombies who can barely move their limbs still. Graveguard are going to move around as well to assassinate the flanks, which isn't a bad idea, and in rolls our boy Helman Gorst. Lovely little spell, goes down the line, doing some okay damage to the Chaos Warriors, but they are relatively heavily armoured. That giant just got absolutely punted by the Vargulfs there. Both coming in, looking to beat down the Chaos Giant itself. The Demon Spew are pushing forward though as well to help engage, and Helman Gorst is very quickly dipping and getting the hell out of there. He does not want to tussle with those giants. A big fat burning head is going to catch the Sternsman. Good micro here though by Dacta. You can see he tried to pull back. The problem with Burning Head is you really need to be moving forward, particularly if you're a slow unit. You just don't have the time to turn around and move back, but of course there was nowhere for him to go. Giants have been surrounded at the moment. Flaming Sword of Rune has been popped on them. It looks like the Chaos Warriors are taking a bit of a beating here with the White King involved. Varghulfs are both very healthy. This is such a flustercluck of a battle. Look at this carnage. Flanks are going very well, however, for the Vampire Counts. You can see they're only being overwhelmed by the Black Knights, and even the Chaos Sorcerer is now just swimming in zombies and skeleton warriors. One Varghulf is going to have to fall back. Helmengorst has been rather kind of well played here, just dipping in and out, not sticking to any long engagements up against the Chaos Giants, who are now really in for the long haul. They are stacked on top of the Chosen with halberds as well as Prince Sigvald, so it's a nice little doom blob there by the Chaos, but is it going to be enough? The Chaos Sorcerer needs to live quite badly, I think, to help clear out all the chaff. And he won't take any damage from this, but it is kind of sticking him in a bad situation. Lovely little bit of cycle charging by the Direwolves is going to slowly break up the Chaos Marauders. And on this flank, the Chaos Warriors are getting the job done, but the Black Knight play has been pretty good, using those guys on the flank to crush down and swoop onto the flanks. The Chaos Giants are doing a good job as well, just hitting and slapping the Varghulfs where possible. The Necromancer does take a bit of a punishment there, but they are going to be falling back themselves. Graveguard just trying to pin in the might of the Double Giant, but one does simply not pin in these beautiful beasties. They're simply going to be walking through and really going after Helmengorst, who's taken not that many hits, surprisingly. He's a bit of a thick boy. He does have over 4,000 HP at the moment. Those Giants are really being whittled down, and the balance power is massively in favour of the Vampire Counts, and it's looking bleak. It is looking bleak. I mean, if Prince Sigvald and the Giants can kill Helmengorst, they'll be in with a wonderful chance, but Mr. Gorst has taken basically no damage from those big club swings from the Giants. He's looking very healthy. Sigvald, of course, can get in there and dish out the damage, but we have more zombie summons coming down, who's grinding down this Chaos build. And the reason I think this matchup's so bad for Chaos is they tend to not be able to win the ground force or the air force, so you have to commit to one and pray, and it looks like his prayers, unfortunately, his opponent didn't really go with the air. He went like to meet him toe-to-toe with that badass ground force. Chaos Warriors on this flank doing a good job, but it looks like, unfortunately, Neckbert is going to be bowing out, and I certainly do not blame him there. I think that was, unfortunately, game over. Howdy, Phoenix. How are you today? Hope you're all good in the hood. That was a pretty awesome game. Neckbert, though, of course, shall be departing ways, but he did a really good job. Unfortunately, both the PE guys did fall, but a massive well done to their clan today. I mean, making 2 players into the semi-final is really not bad whatsoever, but Dacta is simply too strong today. Helmengorst over 2,000 damage value. Man, gone are the days of Gorst being a meme. He has really emerged from the shadows to be probably the best lord at the moment for the Vampire Counts. Definitely the best legendary lord. I mean, you have all the Dragon Lords as well, who do very good work. Graveguard did okay. I mean, nothing too crazy. Sternsman got 800 damage value despite being hit by that Burning Head early on. It really was just a matter of surrounding and beating down the key targets, and there wasn't too much left for the Chaos. Once they lost this chaff, you can see all the warriors just kind of ended up dying on the flanks to the good surrounds by the Vampire Counts. There was no way the Elite Corps could really hold it together. 112 kills on the Demon Spews, very cool. I mean, over 9,500 damage dealt, but 460 damage value, it's not nice stuff. Chosen, 679 damage value, and the Giants did, 870 and 780 damage value. Not the worst at the end of the day, but simply not enough. So, GG's. Legion told me Gorst is bugged the other day. I mean, I know his air effects bugged. Is it harder to hit him? I mean, he took so many fins. But, GG. Gorst is too slow. He gets sniped by more mobile factions. Yeah, he's not good in every single matchup. He's not good in every single matchup, but he is very, very powerful. Shidoku, go ODM, what's up, man? You're going to be featured in a replay soon. Alfredino sent in with you two guys. That's probably going to be out tomorrow, I would think. What did you guys think in the end on Gollum versus Dobby? I just feel like Gollum's he's a squirrely little devil. He's a little bit hard to catch. So up next, we will go Pillar of a Bone for the map, and we will get the Schosserhafen. Oh, not Schosserhafen. Oh god, I can never pronounce his name. Where's your name gone? Hopefully he is still online. There you are. Shurv. Oh god. Sverv Shahazam. That's what I apologize so much. I butcher the name every time, but the legend is going to be back. The legend is going to be back. So looks like they're debating the rules. Not too happy with some of the stuff in banner rules right now, but you know, those are the rules we agreed to play. So it shall be 2-1 to Mr. Dactor there. But we will be taking that down to a 0. And on the left-hand side, let us change the name. I think that's how it's spelled off the top of my head. Bam. There we go. We can double check when he gets back in. So the map's here. Hey, he's back. Hello. Welcome back, dude. Hope he was enjoying the stream in the meantime. Maps are on Discord. So the maps will be, for this best of 5 showdown, Pillar of Bone, Crack Asgol, Galbaraz, Crack Ungor, and Storm Demon. Gollum would just strangle him, not gonna lie. Like, he nearly beat 2 hobbits. It's true. I feel like the problem is Dobby would be, like, too friendly. If Dobby knew it was a fight, he could, like, teleport Gollum into some lava if he wanted to. So he is very powerful, but I feel like Dobby's, like, kind soul would kind of do what happened to Frodo a little bit, where he kept giving Gollum chances, and Gollum would just strangle Dobby. And I think once he had him in a bit of a necklock, it'd probably be game over. I'm fast pick. Yes, you are. So it's the standard pick and ban system today. Nick, but why you never play those matchups versus me? He really counterpicked himself quite a bit, but still performed absolutely amazing. And very nearly took that game completely. Gorse for the Gorse God. Oh my god, Lion Mad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed Gorse. He's pretty cool to see. Teleport into lava? I mean, you could, right? See, Robert Luck's channel has been a lot more logical about the reality of this fight. Oh no, what was going on over there? Yeah, if Dobby had, like, prep, right? If Dobby knew it was a scrap. I mean, he's a wizard. Doesn't he, like, teleport? I know he can teleport himself. So maybe he could just stand on the edge of some lava and then just teleport himself and Gollum would just hop in. Or he could, like, conjure an illusion of the One Ring and, like, just lure Gollum to his death, because that's kind of Gollum's biggest weakness. We're getting some more Wood Elf action. We have seen Dactor lose with his Wood Elves today, but he is really one of the top-tier Wood Elf players in the game at the moment. So I'm excited to see him bring them back. He's actually used them as a first pick here. No, please not this matchup. We have Wood Elves versus Dwarfs. Well, I love the Dwarfs. I love the Wood Elves. They're 2 of my favourite factions. I despise this matchup because it normally comes down to triple Weight Watchers, max Glade Guard staff, basically 12 range units for the Wood Elves, and you kite the Dwarfs and you try to pick off key units. It is very depressing. You can, of course, go Rush with Wood Elves, which is how I've played it quite a bit recently, because I found it really cool. Me and Samurai Warrior, lovely dude, top channel as well. He's an Italian caster. And we came with this idea a long time ago, when Blade Singers were first birthed into the world, that if you combine them with a Branch Wraith, who uses the negative magic resistance item, it's like the other Trickster's Shard or something along those times. Blade Singers beat every single Dwarf unit in the game 1v1. Like, they slaughter them. It's not even close. But, obviously, they normally do magic damage. So if you pair them with a Branch Wraith, they kill, like, they do so much work. The problem is they are very squishy. So you kind of have to distract the Dwarves with a bit of a threat overload, coming with Great Stag Knights, maybe an Ancient Tree Man or something, and really distract the Dwarves and allow the Blade Singers to chew through their enemy. I think War Dancers as well can actually do pretty decent in that matchup from experience. But, yeah, it's at mid-level to lower level play. I would say this is widely Dwarf favoured, like heavily Dwarf favoured, but I think at top level it's Wood Elf favoured. Problem is you can't spam the Blade Singers Knightherd, because you have to pair them with the Branch Wraith. I reckon they will make them as sexy as possible. Kaiser. They won't be super revealing, but they'll be as sexy as possible. And we already have, like, you know, scantily clad elves. So I reckon they'll go for it. They know what sells. Yeah, if the Widows go range kite, it's a pretty traumatic matchup for sure. Yeah, it depends how human they look. Yeah. They're just very squishy, but honestly, combined with a Branch Wraith, it's so funny. They just slaughter everything. I've got a video out about it a couple of days ago, I believe, in 2 different matchups. One where I kept them with the Branch Wraith, and one where I didn't, accidentally. And they still pay for themselves when they didn't, because they got onto good targets. Oh boy, says Dacta. Yeah, this is going to be like a 20-minute game. I can feel it. Thoric is also a huge beast. Yeah, Thoric's really good. I really quite like Thoric quite a bit. I've been playing a decent amount of Dwarfs on Quick Battle, coming in with like 4 to 5 Thunderers. Thoric can go really wide with Dwarf Warriors and stuff. And Miners of Blasting Charges. And Rune of Doom, man, combined with Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, is very, very scary. Very, very scary. The Slaanesh Sexy Chaos Spawn. I don't know if I want to see that unit, if I'm being perfectly honest. Although, to be honest, I'm sure, like, as the game's gone on, some models look a little bit dated, like a little bit basic, like, you know, Dwarf Warriors and stuff. But all the DLCs we've had in Total Warhammer 2, the models look so freaking good. Like, they've gotten really good at the model design. So I'm quite excited to see what they bring to Total Warhammer 3. So we're going to the Wood Elf build first and foremost, so we can all have a good cry. We have, up in the sky, the Sister of Twilight. Okay, not what I expected. I expected a High Mage. So you could get Tempest to deal with Gyrocoblers and then Soul Quench to decimate Dowie along the flanks. But still, it's a pretty good pick. We have Sister of Twilight. Seems like Dacta is a big fan. They are very cool. With the Lost Silver Knights in the back, though they do magic damage, Dwarves don't have much magic damage themselves. And if they do, like they have the Hammerers, you just snipe them out. We do have a Waystalker down here on the flank. We have a Waywatchers. Again, triple Waywatchers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts along the line. We have a Spellslinger of Life, kind of Earthblood and Regrowth. And that's going to be it. So it's going to come down to, can he kill enough models that, you know, the Dwarfs break before he has to move into combat. I mean, he's got some Knights as well for the late game. For the Dwarfs, it is a rather tight formation, so not really going super onion, but it is a little bit as well. It's not like a box kind of thing. A load of Dwarf Warriors, who of course do have 85 armor and a bronze shielded, which is quite useful. A load of Miners as well. We have Longbeards in the back burners, a bucket ton of Buckman Rangers, very good in this matchup. They have regeneration, which is quite tasty. And a load of Rangers as well. So an invisible range core. We have a Rune Lord down on the ground. Not the worst choice. He's very cheap right now. And he's got still very powerful runes. Comes in with the Rune of Speed, Rune of Negation, and the Master Rune of Grungy. So the reason you bring this guy is Thoric, I believe, off the top of my head, doesn't have the Master Rune of Grungy, which does give 20% missile resistance. Of course, very good up against Wood Elves. Sister of Twilight, instantly Armia trying to bait out some ammunition. They take a few shots there, unfortunately. Arrows of Kurnos clips some Rangers, but does basically no damage. And the kite game shall commence. Oh god, not the range kite, please. I'm afraid, guys, it's here. It's here. We can all have a good cry, though. We can all have a good cry. I'm going to have a little sip of my drink while we wait for these guys to advance. I feel like this is like therapy time for us on stream right now. We're just like, okay, we can talk about our problems in life whilst we just see the dwarves get bullied. And that'll hopefully cheer most of you guys up. Unless you're a dwarf fan, of course, in which case it probably won't. But, I mean, dwarves kind of get happy by putting grudges in the book, so that'll help. So, yeah, the Bugmans, as well as the Rangers, are simply trying to pop some shots, but unfortunately aren't super accurate. The dwarves don't actually realistically have to move here. I don't think they've got anything which can match the Elvish speed. They don't. So they can just sit static in whatever position they want to right now. Lots of the Knights are hiding in the trees. Waywatchers are starting to move up around this flank. It'll be interesting to see who they target. If they can get in range enough to assassinate the Rune Lord. He has 120 armor, but to be honest, Waywatchers don't really give a damn about your armor. He's not got the biggest HP pool. 30,000 HP will very quickly fall off him if those Waywatchers come in and, you know, bring the pain. Sister Twilight taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too much. The Glade Guard are going to move back as the Lost Silver Knights do move up on the far side. Waywatchers as well lurking in the trees for now, trying to get into a better position as the sisters just move along there. Good luck, have fun by both players, good to see. Glade Guard going to start unleashing some shots into the Dwarf Warriors, which honestly isn't the worst target even. Any target here is good, basically, for you, though it is better to go after the Miners first, or the Rangers in the back, but the majority of them are, of course, hidden. Looks like they are going to be moving up. Azakonos swoops in, clips some Bugman Rangers, clips some Rangers, but that doesn't do too much. And at last, the Waywatchers do strike. It looks like their shots are coming down at their own Sisters of Twilight. What was that? The Waywatchers just shot their own sisters and did a decent amount of damage. Rundlord took no damage, Rangers took barely any. Waywatchers were like, no, you must die. Looks like they're going after the Bugman Rangers, which isn't the worst idea here whatsoever. I mean, if you can break them, the Lost Silver Knights can then just swoop in and finish them off for good, which is obviously some good news. But the Sisters of Twilight not having a good day so far, it would seem. Glade Guard are starting to focus down the Dwarfs now that they have turned their shield wall away. They're obviously going to be taking a bit more damage, so good target priority by Dacta, which is what you'd expect, of course, from a good Wood Elf player. Pump those Dwarven legs. Man, I mean, it's always a tough decision of, like, do you even trade fire here? What do you do as the Dwarfs in this situation? Do you push the enemy? I had this debate recently with someone, and I think the best bet is probably just try to force the Elf to shoot into your shielded Dowie Warriors, but it's really hard to get to do because they have all the time in the world to line up their troops and get some good positioning. The Sisters of Twilight have taken a bit of a pounding. Of course, they will have those heals in the late game. Some nice shots do come down the line of the Bugman Rangers, but if it doesn't kill models, it's not going to do them too much good. Lost Silver Knights are going to be a menace in the night for this Dowie build, particularly in the late game. There is no magic damage, as far as I'm aware, in this build whatsoever, and that's going to be some pretty problematic news for the Dwarves when they see these Knights bounding across the field, who I think are brought in 99% of Wood Elf builds in this matchup. Sisters of Twilight can take this damage, to be honest, because they are going to heal in the later stages of the game, although they need to make sure they do get that healing proc and not leave it too late. Miners have taken a decent amount of damage right now. That's going to mitigate some of the blasting charges in the later stages of the game. Dwarf Warriors, though, are still looking pretty healthy. So are the Longbeards in the back, I believe. Yeah, they're not doing too bad whatsoever. Counter-firing into the Waywatchers. Oh, that's some really nice play here, actually, by the Dwarfs. Was filling some of these Waywatchers with bolts to the neck, to the chest. And that's some dead Waywatchers. I love to see it. They're going to get held up, it would seem. So there was a life caster. Yeah, they're getting held up with a regrowth, which is no good, but they lost quite a few models, and that is going to affect them quite badly right now. Sisters of Twilight simply floating in the sky still, trying to do some damage where possible. Lost Silver Knights are pushing forward. Glade Guard constantly kiting back and forth, bouncing around, of course, as is expected to do up against the Dwarfs. Sisters of Twilight are going to be moving out to this flank once again, trying to fire down the ranks of the enemy. Bugman Rangers, as you can see, their HP is ticking up quite happily. And you may be wondering, why on earth do these Dwarfs heal up? Is it some magical prophecy or some magical blessing that has been bestowed upon them, some legendary reason in lore? Nope, it's because they're sipping on some beer. So when you drink a good old Bugman's, it replenishes your hit points apparently, which obviously does quench a thirst. Lots of the Knights are actually taking a bit of a pounding. I mean, yeah, you've got a lot of physical resistance, but enough damage will drag them down, and they don't have a huge amount of HP, but it's a little bit scary because, of course, that there is that pesky little spellcaster of life in the back, and they've used up basically 0 winds of magic. Bugmans are pushed up, though, starting to do some decent damage to the Glade Guard, and in come the Sisters for a risky charge down. Lord, I don't know where he was going. He was getting way out of position right there. And the Sisters are getting filled up with quite a few bolts at the moment. Lost Silver Knights are going to crash in as well. Really trying to look to break this unit of Rangers. But Rangers are crazy cheap at the end of the day. They do get hit by a Rune of Negation. A little bit too late there, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a wasted rune. But he has plenty of time to let those runes stack back up once more. As the Lost Silver Knights do take a bit of a pound in there. Sisters down to about half HP. Glade Guard and Starfire Shaft continue to rain shots down on the Bugmans, as do the Waywatchers on the left-hand side. And these Waywatchers, are they going to be able to pay for themselves? They're shooting such lowly targets in, like, the ranges and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know who this is currently favouring. Of course, the Wood Elves have done way more damage right now, but they've used up a decent amount of ammunition. Not quite half, though, which is a little bit troublesome for us. Runelord, once again, massively overextends. I do not believe he does magic damage. I don't know why he keeps chasing the Lost Silver Knights, because now the Sister Twilight can simply jump on him, and I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back. Lots of Dwarfs are pushing forward to try to get to the rescue, and he's tanking the damage relatively nicely. Lost Silver Knights aren't doing much work to him. The Sisters of Twilight, it looks like, are they getting the hill right now? No, Regrowth goes down to the Lost Silver Knights. Okay, they didn't actually have that much HP damage done to them. But the Runelord is a little stuck right now. And this could be a big problem time for the Dwarves, because elsewhere they've managed the game relatively okay. They still have a lot of their Longbeards left, and if all the ammo runs out and the Longbeards are alive, the Dwarves win, because they can obviously clear all the Glade Guard quite happily. Somehow, the Rune Lord is still going strong. We are going to see a Rune of Speed go down, buffing the stats of all these troops as they come in against the Lost Silver Knights, who do decide enough is enough, we're going to fall back now. They do manage to tear out the Rune Lord, but he's going to be running back towards friendly folk. At least it seemed that way. But the Lost Silver Knights are going to be trying to maneuver up and around and hunt him down where possible. So this is a Twilight. Definitely want to focus fire him down now with their single shots, because even if he runs back to friendly territory, he'll die at this point. And it looks like the Dwarf Lord is going to bite the bullet. That is a unfortunate big misplay coming in by the Dwarfs, and it could cost them the game, realistically. I mean, Dwarfs don't care too much if their Lord's gone down, but losing all the runes is a big problem indeed. Ekron Miners are taking a lot of shots now into the flank from all these Glaive Guard, who still have so much ammo left, as well as these Weight Watchers in the back. The Spellslinger is going to hop on top of the Miners to try to dish out the damage to them. They need to be careful, these Weight Watchers there. Definitely moving within blast and charge range. Are the Miners going to let loose the Dogs of War? They are. And that's some pretty good damage, to be honest. Not bad whatsoever. Any damage you can get on Weight Watchers is good damage in general. Poor little Rune Lord is being escorted away from the battlefield. Miners are desperately pushing out to try to save him, but even if they catch the Sister of Twilight, she's just going to push through them and continue to hound the poor little Rune Lord. Lost Silver Knights have tanked a lot of damage at the moment. Dwarfs still have a decent sized force, and the ammunition is now finally starting to wane out a bit. I just wish that Rune Lord had stayed in the central pocket, and I think the balance power would probably be even, but at the moment it is heavily favoured in the Wood Elf favour. Longbeards raise their mighty shields, 100 armour, bronze shields isn't quite going to cut it, unfortunately, up against the unerring accuracy of the Weight Watchers. They are Legolas on steroids right now, doing some good work. Dairy crossbows are amazing with shields versus archers. Indeed, indeed, they can do some really good work. 100%. 100%. So Dwarfs still pushing forward, trying their little hearts out. The Lost Silver Knights are such a problem for Dwarfs in this matchup. You can get magic damage, and that's why I think Thoric Ironbrow, is he needed? I don't know. The Lost Silver Knights are going to cause you problems either way. The fact he does magic damage is nice, but the lack of missile resistance that the Rune Lord can bring instead, is it worth the trade? I guess you guys have to decide. You can bring the Peak Gate Guard, of course, but they're going to be focused down by those Weight Watchers almost instantly as soon as the battle starts. Rune Lord has now been escorted away from the battlefield. Sisters of Twilight are going to come back to the fray. Up to 89 kills, and it looks like the Dwarfs are going to throw in the towel there, which is understandable. I don't think there was any way they could bring that back. I mean, maybe it's a little bit early. There's like no good value on most of these troops. Even on the Weight Watchers, none of them paid for themselves. It's just a Twilight got 1.8 on the other hand, which is pretty nice. He's still a decent amount of troops left. I don't know. 3 full health units of Longbeards, 2 full health units of Dwarf Warriors. If they can absorb that damage, I feel like the Lost Silver Knight cycle charging them probably would have been enough in the end. But it was still a little bit close there. So up next, we do move to the Karak maps. It is Karak Asgul. That's a tough matchup for sure. It is a tough matchup. So, I don't know why. That was game 1, right? I don't know why he's got that 1 score there. That should be 0, I believe. Am I tripping, guys? Did he already win a game? I don't think so. So, I believe it's 1-0 to Dacta. This is why I need chat. Chat to save me. My soul aches to witness this. It's hard, man. It's hard. Range hard. Range fast. Why do the Dwarves remind me of Ultramarines? I mean, they're stubborn, they're heavily armoured. I can see the coalition there. I'm sorry, Goose, says Nick, but put me in there and it's Vampire Counts versus Elves again. Man, Neckbert, fantastic showing today, bud. Really impressed with your performances. Dacta is a really scary opponent, and you went toe-to-toe with him in some pretty unfavourable matchups, and you got that far. So we are going to be seeing some green skins, Banning Lizmen and Vampire Counts. Dacta bringing out the Beastmen. The Bray Herd comes for war. Yeah, that was first match. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This is why you guys are the brains of the operation. I'm just the duck. I just kind of sit there looking confused most of the time. And you guys are actually the real ones. The real MVPs here. But if you guys saw my face cam the other day, my full body reveal, I was tempted to do it today, but I think I'm just going to save that for point of view ones. It was kind of funny. I don't want to... Full body reveal sounds a little bit weird, but you'll get what I mean if you saw the stream the other day. Yeah, I feel like the Dowie had a chance. The Stags were the problem. The Stags were a big problem. I mean, with the Rune of Speed and so much attack, you could drag them down. But the Terror, you have no Lord, yeah, it's not a fun matchup to play for the Dwarfs. And I don't even think for the Wood Elves if you go for that style of play. I mean, if you love kiting, then it's obviously really for you. I do quite like the matchup when I rush with Wood Elves. I hate playing it as Dwarfs in general. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Noob for Life? Long time no see, buddy. Hope you're all good today. I think you played today, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was another tournament you played in. I swear I saw you play Human Boy at some point. I think that might have been on a different tournament. I think that was the one I was playing in, maybe. But yeah, guys, for those who do enjoy tournaments and playing in tournaments, on Tuesday, we will be doing the One Build Battle Royale, which I'm very excited for. I will set up a challenge page and stuff tonight. I mean, after this, I'm going to have to cook and eat because it's gone 10 here already. So it's probably going to be at least 11, probably more by the time I get to cooking. But either tomorrow morning or later today, I will set up the glorious challenge page. I really hope CA create their own version of challenge and implement it into the game. I don't think it'd be that hard to do either. Like just a bracket system that people can use and be invited to. I think it'd be quite easy to do. Like you just get a username for it and a password, and people can just sign up when they want. Showtime, man! Showtime! We had a rematch of the game we played the other day. Yeah, we had a similar situation to me and Dwarves against Showtime Wood Elves. I was like, bro, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I was like, you have the victory, bro. We just saw a basically the same game kind of play out. And although I still think the Dwarves had a chance, yeah, the Lost 7 Knights were going to be a big problem. I think losing the Rune Lord early on was kind of the nail in the coffin, unfortunately, there. Hope you're doing good, though, Showtime. For those who don't know, Showtime is a very ridiculously talented player. Had some awesome games live stream. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Showtime versus Lotus Moon in the third place games for WWC that we cast on the channel. Like, yeah, Showtime's the beast. He's like a scary opponent. So is Lotus Moon as well. I seem to remember them being really good games. So, for the forces of the Greenskins, we do, of course, have Savage Rock Biggins, one of the staples that hasn't changed too much over the years. Savage Rock Biggins dotted all the way along. I believe we had some sneaky gobbos as well. Where did 8-peak loons? Oh, some Orc Boys. I wonder if the 8-peak loons are honestly worth it now. Because you have to get them engaged in combat before you can pop their ability. It can pay off, but a lot of time it can't as well. I kind of like that though. It makes them a bit more random, right? So some Goblin Wolf Red Archers, Forest Goblin Spider Archers, of course. So a huge skirmish cohort for the Greenskins. We have a Giant Rotor Hag as well with Spirit Leech. We have a Goblin Big Boss, and we have Grom the Disgusting Paunch. I would like to see some other Greenskin characters in tournaments. I still think Azag can bring the pain. I think Wozag can be a decent lord as well. Grimgor's funny, but I do understand the Grom pick. Of course, he is the most powerful. For the force of the Beastmen, with a rather wide and cheap front line, as is tradition, under Ungors all the way along, and some Warhounds as well. We have Centaurs, we have Tuskor Chariots, I believe 2 of them, as to be expected, more Centaurs on the flanks. British Shaman Award, Trade King and Viletide, a couple of Throne Axes in the back, double Manticore in the sky, Torx the Brass Ball, alongside his homie, Gorbel. I don't think Torx the Brass Ball has appeared in chat today. We do actually have someone in chat who is actually indeed Torox, who is convinced if Torx had a scarf on, he would be invincible in battle. And I have to say, I did a tournament point of view the other day, and I won multiple games with Torox. He is a very powerful lord. Grimgor is pretty funny. No, it's Showtime. Don't worry about it, man. I think you caught me in a game where I was like, I had time for one game, and it was like the Wood Elves obliterated my Dwarfs, and I was like, oh, I'm going to leave this game. I can't win this. But, man, always had to play games against you, dude. Grimgor is funny, the Slayer of the Lord of the End Times, ladies and gents. So the Chaos Warhounds will be moving back right now. The Tuskor Chariots will be moving forward, looking to engage the enemy. Golden Wolf-Ride Archers are poking down the Tuskor Chariots where possible, but it looks like for the most part they are going to be getting in relatively unscathed. I really do think the Chariots are going to have to do a decent amount of work here. They have to kill basically all of the infantry. You know the Manticores who can do a decent job at it, and the Centaurs, but yeah, the Gore Herds, or the Ungore Herds I should say, really are not going to cut this whatsoever against Savage Orc Biggins. So I didn't see some Spirit Leeches go down on the Manticores, and that is just what we get. This first one does receive some, and Grom the Paunch needs to be a little bit careful, though. He doesn't have that many homies around. If the double Manticores do swoop in for an assassination attempt, as Taurox and the Gorb will push through, he could be in a generally dangerous situation, though there is a lot of Savage Orc Biggins around who can support and help take down such foes. Tuskor Chariots are going to be rolling dirty through the front line. Bam, there we go, using their strong mass to run over the enemy. That is actually probably the reason the Tuskor Chariots are so good right now, is their ridiculous mass. We do see an upgraded Traitor King go down, catch so many units. The Savage Orcs are really getting decimated right now. Doing some good work. Gorball has taken a lot of damage, as has Taurox the Brass Bull, but they now are engaged with the Goblin Big Boss, as well as Grom the Paunch, and this core of Greenskins needs to be so careful. Look at the sniping potential the Beastman can offer now. It's so scary. Double Manticore and Taurox, and the Goblin just dies. The Goblin just dies. That is all that remains. That's Dobby right there if he faced Gollum. Grom the Paunch is kind of getting his arse kicked right now. Gorball does get hit by a Spirit Leech and they need stabbing. Manticores need to come in to help out with this snipe attempt, because the Giant Patrol Hag, as well as the saturation of Savage Orcs, is actually helping out quite a bit. Looks like Gorball may go down. Big misplay though by the Greenskins. So much of their skirmish cav is just away in the corner of the match, being chased away by one Centaur. However, on the right hand side they win their skirmish fight. Melee fight is far more even, with Chariots doing some pretty good work. Only 9 kills actually, so maybe not so much. Centaurs do charge in, looking just to pin in these forces and try to break them where possible. Manticores are cycle charging. Down goes the Giant Patrol Hag, getting absolutely eviscerated here. Grom, though, does manage to escape, and you can see the poor Savage Orcs are terrified now. Yes, they have a Frenzy, so they are immune to Psychology, but when that gets below half leadership, the Frenzy does wear off, which is a little bit of a shame for the whole Terror thing, because normally if you're going to get Terror outed, it's when you have no HP, or no leadership, sorry. The war finally is popped here. Savage Orcs are desperately trying to hold on, but Double Manticore so strong still. Our beloved Gorball is still alive into the later stages of the game. Taurox Brass Bull has Brass Body popped, and Grom the Paunch, man. Grom the Paunch is suffering. He knows what it's like to try and carry a game on his back, but he's going to have to do that here today. Centaurs are forced off by Forest Goblin Spider Riders. We have a load of archers coming back into the fray, who can certainly whittle down a lot of this force. And the Beastmen Central Core is looking pretty weak right now. A Spirit Leech does go down on the Gorball, and the Greenskins aren't out of this just yet, if they can kill the key targets. Problem is, double Tuskor Chariots, there's no counters left on the battlefield for them, so the infantry is basically dead. It is a skirmish fest. Can we use our archers in the right situations? Can we assassinate key targets where possible? I don't know. Gorball's very low, Manticore's very healthy. Taurox does get hit here, but is slow, and he's taking quite a lot of punishment, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's very tanky at 130 armor. Grom is moving away, looking to regenerate and spread the game out where possible. Elsewhere, we have some Spider Riders who can come back. On the far side, we have even more, the Death Creepers, in fact, who are regenerating to come back. And the Beastmen are just so scary right now. Look at this. And they even have counter skirmishing potential with those throwing axes. My god, that was just... Man, that was amazing. That was that Goblin just obliterating him. Obliterating him, man. That poor little Gobbo. 197 damage value. Poor fella. Grom the Paunch, 762 damage value, but that was a slaughter, man. That was tough. That was so tough, man. Well played, though, to both players. Like, the Greenskin player tried everything he could to get himself back into that game. And yeah, you can kill the infantry, but he couldn't quite assassinate any of the characters. You can see the Gorball, 730 damage value, 570, 1.2 on Taurox. He's really the only unit that Dacta needed here. He just soloed everything. Tuskor Chariots got, 660 damage value, 690, not bad. Manticores, though, they were just sniping and, like, picking apart the Greenskin forces, which was the problem. GG. So it's 2-0 up here. We're going to be moving down now to Galbaraz. There we go. GG, Beastmen win. I love, like, that Beastmen do get their time in the sun, I'm not going to lie. I do wish the Chariots get fixed a little bit. Hopefully soon. And then I actually think they're going to be still top... Like, they're going to be very good. They're going to be very, very good. Which is where I don't mind them being good whatsoever. They had so long as like the laughing pit. Where are the Lizzies? I think we've only seen one Lizardman game today. Only the one. Beastman kind of nasty for sure. the Beastman should be a bug. Nick, but I might have to learn greenskins now they're nerfed. You do like nerfing yourself quite a bit, it would seem. Perhaps that's what gives you strength. Yeah, the Throw Manticore inclusion was a game changer. For sure. The fact they get Manticores now is so nice. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. If you are, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, all that good standard YouTube-y stuff. Links down below as well to my Discord if you would like to hop in here in the future tournaments and events. We host them weekly. King of the Hills, tournaments, send me replays, you name it, you can do it. Torx booting the gob out of the blob to be eaten by manticores was just, oh yeah, I agree, Russell. I agree. I need to be so careful with my foot, jeez, so I keep bashing my like foot against stuff a little bit. And operation on my foot like Tuesday. It's not meant to be bashed around. I actually really love Lizardmen though. Like, I've always loved playing Lizardmen, regardless of their like skill level. They're very powerful in the game right now. I would say they're not the best faction in the game, but they are like top 3 comfortably. And I think to be honest, the top factions, it comes down to opinion, really. They're all like so close. So Dacta goes Empire, banning Vampire Counts and Bretonia. We're going to see Chaos counterpick. I don't mind that whatsoever. I think Chaos can really do a number on Empire if played correctly. No Lizardmen though again. Very sad. Sad day for me. Yeah, Skaven were very good for quite some time. Those mortars, man, and the Poison Wing Globadiers, which are still very, very powerful. I still think Skaven are a very strong faction, despite the fact that people seem to take them less. Same with Greenskins. Just because they're not, you know, as good as they were, people see like a bit of a nerf, and they like stop playing them completely. It's so bizarre. Maybe they're just bored of them, and now that they're not as powerful, they're like, oh, we don't have to play. We don't have to play them. Sorry, just sorting out my dressing on my foot. How are some lizard women? Yeah, rights for lizard men. Unfortunately, I don't think there are any female lizards. I don't know if they're even male. They are what they are. They are what they are. Beastmen, the most beautiful faction ever. They are cool. Shidoku, they are cool. I have to give them that. I don't think they're like a mediocre. Well, it depends. It depends. Yeah, if you argue that's like the base, then maybe. I want every faction to be good, is the thing, I suppose. But then, if every faction's good, then I guess every faction's mediocre. So yeah, you're probably right. Gabaraz is the map. Biggish map as well. Should be good. Allows plenty of kite and potential. Do you reckon Dacta is going to channel his inner Diddly Bunnies and go War Wagons? I'd love to see it. Waiting for the triumphant return of the pump wagons? That'd be hilarious. Pump wagons, unfortunately, never really got their shine, did they? They were kind of hyped up to be this, like, super OP fin, and then they came out and they were like, ah, they're okay. They're not, like, amazing. But they are relatively solid. It looks like they're ready to rumble. And let's do this. This could be the last game of the stream. I hope not. I hope we see a bit of a fight back here and we go all the way to 5 games, but Dacta does seem to be on some rare form today. Well, I say rare form, it's not really rare for Dacta, he tends to be on good form, but he's shown some brutal form today, is probably a better way of putting it. I've just got a song by Nas called Rare in my head, where he says he's on rare form, so... Man. If any of you out there are hip-hop fans, please go listen to Nas's King's Disease 2, my god, album of the year, putting out there right now. Anyway, enough of me rambling about stuff that's not Warhammer. We do indeed have Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors dotted all the way along the front line. Some great weapons, some basic. We have the Demon Spew, man. These guys have become really popular all of a sudden. I mean, they've always been a little bit popular, but I've seen them a lot more in tournaments, which is quite exciting indeed. Mirror Guard as well in there. A bucket ton of Skirmish Cav, which you have to have. Horse Masters and Horsemen. I'm actually teaching someone how to play Chaos at the moment. And yeah, I try to kind of nail into people. You have to get good with Skirmish Cav if you're going to be playing Chaos or Norska. With a Chaos Sorcerer fire down the ground, Cascading Fire Cloak and Burning Head will be the poisons of choice. And oh, what a lad! What a lad. We have Kolek Sun Eater, the bullet magnet himself, probably taking quite a few shots to the face, but he can deal with Volkmar quite comfortably in hand-to-hand combat. So a swarm and punch style of build. For the forces of the Mighty Empire, of course, we have Volkmar the Grim, who is... I have said my piece about Volkmar. Most people disagree with me. I feel like if Volkmar was in a different faction, a more powerful faction than Empire, people would demand he gets nerfed. But I see he's still a cool lord. He's got a freaking awesome moustache as well. Very powerful character. We do have some some definitely naked, I should say, fanatics on the flanks, as well as a swordsman, Sigma Sons as well in the middle, and yeah, spears on the flanks as well, and backing up the center, we have halberdiers. I love the fact halberdiers are picked now. It's so cool. I love halberdiers. They're really awesome. Like, also through history, halberds are pretty badass weapons. We have the silver bullets in the central pocket, as well as a couple of handgunners. We have a Grey Wizard, which is really cool, and Feeble Foe and Pendulum. Don't get to see him terribly often. And that's the build. So it's a bit of a pike and gunshot build. With Volkmar, of course, as well. Who's your money on, guys? Who is your money on? War Wagons or bust? All demis? All demis can be cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's my personal opinion that Volkmar is just like I don't know. I don't want to say more powerful Grom because he's slower, so it's easy to pin in and stuff. And if you do get down into the end in combat, of course he has garbage melee defense. I had a really good game against someone the other day. Who was that? I think it's Grom Brindle, maybe? Where Tehenowin, like on Horned One, managed to kill Volkmar. Which of course is understandable, but you have to get to that point of the battle, unfortunately, and he can reap so much havoc before you get there. Horsemen are moving out to the right-hand flank. We've got a mixture of horsemen and horsemasters here. Cavalry on the left-hand side as well. I quite like the Everwatcher in this build, in this matchup as well, because he can push through and take down all the handgunners comfortably, plague rust people, sear and doom them, but I suppose he probably struggles a lot more against Volkmar than the mighty Kolek Sun Eater, who's currently waiting in deep reserve. There's no cannons, no hellblasters or anything like that, which can really punish him. So yeah, he's simply going to wait and try to swarm over on the front line, push into the back line, and then commit Kolek to the fight. Now that Volkmar has rolled out, though, Kolek is going to have to get on his hind legs and start charging towards the enemy. Problem is here, the silver bullets are really going to bring the pain to him really badly, particularly if all these other handgunners do as well. But a lovely play here. A Burning Head comes down to distract the silver bullets. Unfortunately, doesn't kill them, but it does stop them shooting into Kolek, who's now getting to grips with Volkmar the Grim, and he is slamming him pretty hard, those bullets, so making it a far more even fight. These handgunners need to be shot down at all costs, or Kolek is dead, and that will be the battle. Burning Head is still going through. The Demon Spew are starting to float into this flank. Horseman as well, wrapping the flanks quite nicely. Did Kolek commit a little bit too early there? It's tough to say. He is going for the kill. He is going all the way in. I've committed Kolek. He's staying committed. Volkmar is getting bullied right now, but the handgunners are still all online and firing. Luckily for Kolek, Volkmar is actually working as a bit of a screen there for him. The silver bullets are shut down, but the handgunners are still going strong, however, and Volkmar can heal up into the later stages of the game. Kolek is starting to waver. He needs to continue this pursuit as the horsemen have engaged with the handgunners as well. Kolek, the Leroy Jenkins Chad of the universe, is beating the snot out of that moustache-twirling villain Volkmar, but the handgunners, the basic men of the Empire, they are the true heroes here. We have way more handgunners than I think I initially thought there. That lovely crossfire is coming in, and Kolek bites the bullet, or near enough so, down to 1000 HP. Lovely burning heads all day, but Dacta's micro is just so scary, and he's managed to dodge so many shots there. Horsemen have been forced back. Frontline not going too good now that Volkmar is back in action, baby. Up to 81 kills, he can really run it over. And yeah, that's going to be pretty rough with Kolek basically going down here. He has 600 hit points. He should be able to get out of the danger zone, although this unit of silver bullets might actually be able to go and finish him off when they rally. We do still have the Demon Spew on this flank, and a lot of horsemen. Miragard are doing good, but a lot of the handgunners are in really decent positions. You can see Dacta has them in multiple parts of the battlefield, but they are starting to be swarmed here. Volkmar is very danger low. It looks like the horsemen are trying to pin him in and finish him off. He's, of course, going to be healing up quite nicely. Kolek is just legging it. He is not about this fight right now. He's gone off into the corner to think about what he's done. He should come back here, but the silver bullets will be hidden and on approach. Do they say hidden when they're running like this? I don't know. Do units which have, like, stalks stay hidden when they're running if they get out of the line of sight? I'm not sure. Lovely little shot comes in, followed up by a pendulum. Oh my god, the carnage. I mean, a load of friendly fire as well. But it's going to break off the horsemen as well as the Demon Spew, who are pinning in Volkmar. If these guys rally, they can get some thrown axes down down on Volkmar to try and finish the day. Left-hand side, though, looks like Spearmen and Halberds are really doing a good job of protecting the handgunners right now, and should be able to, you would think, push away the Horsemen where possible. Good play, though, by the Chaos, bobbing and weaving, trying to get into the right positions, and a lot of the Empire forces are broken at the moment. Kolek is coming back. I don't think for long. His leadership is very low, and Volkmar the Grim is healing up, cackling as if nothing happened. Now, that's such a cool press, though, by Kolek, getting in there down and dirty, but it looks like it hasn't paid off, at least not yet. Chaos Sorcerer Fight is getting in there and doing some decent work. Looks like a lot of infantry is returning. The Empire actually starting to struggle a little bit. Look at all these troops in force off. The handgunners, the spearmen. There are a decent amount of halberdiers left, but there's still 60 Mirror Guard. That is no joke whatsoever. Balance power is dead even, and I'd probably agree with that right now. Volkmar is the problem, as always, because Kolek Sun Eater, I mean, all the handgunners have been forced off, at least the ones he knows about. So bullets, of course, in the distance can come back. If he waits till the late game, and Volkmar gets quite learned, he's like the only one left, Kolek could come in and do some good slapping. Mirror Guard need to get to grips with the Halberdiers, who are falling back, though, towards the protection of Volkmar the Grim, as it looks like the Horsemen are currently engaged, throwing axes and spears into Spearmen instead. Another Burning Head's going to come down. It's going to catch some of the Halberdiers. Lovely cast, actually, there. But the majority was dodged, again, due to Dacta's micromanagement. Chaos Marauders do get hit by Banishment. Volkmar isn't getting beat up here by Kolek a little bit, who is currently engaged with Halberdiers, which is certainly not where he wants to be. He needs to continue that push through. Mirror Guard also eats some bit of the banishment there by Volkmar, who's going to continue to roll. And oh my god, the slap! Kolek may be injured, but he's not out of this fight just yet, lads. Comes in and beats the snot of Volkmar, but once again, yeah, he gets those spear and the halberds poking him down to just 400 HP. It's looking really bad for him right now, but the rest of the Empire force is just goners. Silver Bullets could come back and do some good sniping. Are we seeing a late Chaos resurgence here, despite the loss of Kolek? Maybe. Really, maybe. Volkmar the Grim is down to 1.8k HP. Horsemasters still have decent ammunition, so maybe this game's not lost after all. I thought it was going to be game over when Kolek started running for the first time. This is going to be a scrappy affair. Volkmar versus the world. If he ends up having to fight all these guys on his own, he will lose. But if he can keep his spearmen and halberds going strong, he's still got a good chance. But it looks like they are betraying him. Kolek is coming back. He smells blood in the air, and he loves that smell. Volkmar is going to have to stand the fight soon, but alas, no, he is not. The Silver Bullets can move up, of course, and do some good shooting. Looks like they're going to try and assassinate the Chaos Sorcerer. Might not be the worst idea to go after Kolek Sun Eater either here. And it looks like the Grey Wizard is not having the best times whatsoever. Horsemasters are going after, it would seem, Volkmar, trying to pin him in place and drag him down. There are still some halberds fighting, 54 in fact. And they're going strong, 38 kills. The cycle charging may be too much for them, but unfortunately the Mirror Guard, as well as the Demon Spew, are looking really beat up right now. If Kolek dies, I think Volkmar will carry it. I really do. Actually, there's a lot of ammo left. There is a lot of ammo. That could be quite key. If this game's going to be won, it's the Horseman killing Volkmar, which is going to do it. I would love to see Kolek come in to get the kill, to be honest. But we're going to have to wait and see if Volkmar can indeed survive. We are going to be getting a Pendulum go down the line on these Chaos Warriors. And not the worst cast in the world. I think it would have been better on the Horsemasters, personally. But again, they're far better at dodging. So you win some, you lose some. No, Kolek! The trap! The trap! The Silver Bullets moved over and finished off Kolek. And with that, oh my god, look at that turn! Chaos really seemed to be getting their groove on. But the Silver Bullets sneak attack, killing Kolek, won the game. It won the game. Man, that was... round of applause, man, to Dacta. He has played insane all day. Real top form. An absolute champ as well. Very nice person. Both him and Shurf Shazam. If you meet these guys on ladder or in a tournament, feel free to say hello and say what's up. They're always happy to give advice to absolute champs. They're all winners here today, but unfortunately, we must take a bow here. But a victory for Dacta. An amazing game. Volkmar the Grim. OP. You hit it here first. I demanded his OP. I will say it once. I will say it again. 2,735 damage value. I understand, though, in the faction he's in, it does make sense how good he is. 108 kills. Really solid work there. The Grey Wizard, 700 damage value. Not shabby whatsoever. Spearmen and Halberds performed okay. They did the job they needed to do to protect those gunners so they could kill Kolek. 1,000 damage value, 700, 655, 92, 483. But that 483 was the most important in the battle. Kolek going down like that, despite the handgunners, despite the hatred, despite Sigma himself trying to intervene. Kolek still got over 2k damage value. I love the pick. I love it. He did so much damage to Volkmar. Brilliant play there. 1.4 on the Chaos Sorcerer. Fires some nice burning heads, but Dacta's Microman, it is too good. If you do not pin those units in from the front, he is not taking full damage from a burning head. It just never happens. Mirror Guard 1.1. Demon Spew 1k damage value. Good work by them. Horse Masters did good across the board. I mean, 700 damage value, 1,000. Some of them faring a little bit worse. But a fantastic set of games. GG, my dude. Luckiest break my like. And the Terror, yeah. The ROR... Yeah, holy crap. The RO Harngunners came back and killed Kolek and caused the Terror out. Thank you for hosting. No worries. GG, man. If you do watch this back, well played, champ. You played really good here today. GG, please give me an Extinctor for Dacta. He's on fire. Oh, Extinguisher for Dacta. DG's, man. Dacta, my hero. Man, he performs so good. I believe he's from Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Dacta has crazy micro, man. Dacta gonna have to drop and roll, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I can say. Like, yes, I agree with literally everything everyone just said there. He played out of his skin today. Well played. He deserves it, man. He had to wait so long for some games in the middle of this. This tournament's been going on since 4. It's been going on for, I don't even know what that is now, like 6.5 hours maybe? I don't know what the time is. I think roughly 6.5 hours, so well played for the lads. A fantastic tournament, man. I really did enjoy that. It was quite stressful on the lead-up. We had lots of problems in matches and people being late and all that kind of stuff, but you guys in chat, you really cheered me up. When I first started the stream, I was like, grumpy, I need to get this going. But you guys are all MVP. That was an amazing stream. I really did enjoy that quite a bit. Now, before you guys go, let's huddle together. I need your guys' help as the Mighty Duck Horde. We're going to go raid someone else's stream. Torin was kind enough to raid ours. So let's hop over and go raid a Logic stream. He is hosting a tournament, which is really good for the community, where he does like newer players come together and play, and it's certainly good. I'm not sure what he's doing now. He was doing the Shortbeard League. It might be the one just above that. So go check him out. Here's a link. I'll be over there in just a second as well. I'll also have a video coming out today featuring Loopy, and that'll be coming out probably in about half hour's time. Actually, maybe like in 10 minutes time. I'm trying to get it done now. I'm just going to put some food in the oven. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you were the MVPs. Love the support here for ODM as well. Looks like lots of ODM fans in chat. But yeah, until next time, guys. Oh, and one more thing. Stream shall be next Tuesday, or this Tuesday coming. It will be a 1-build battle royale. To join my Discord. There'll be an announcement later today. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace. And as always, stay awesome. And geese out.